There is no terrible way to win. There is only winning.
Let me drive. I will make a fool out of you.
Every one of us has to find a reason to do this. You do it because you're driven.
I was beginning to think I'd never be anything more than a piston-happy, lead-foot punk. Then this starts to happen.
Somebody put it in your mind you gotta be perfect every time out or you're a failure. Well, forget that. Just forget it.
You ready to put away your toys and grow up? Are you ready to make more money in 1 year than your father made in his whole life? Are you ready to become a real race car driver?
When I won it was probably the last time I ever felt pure victory.
Because I'm quicker than all of you.
And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
But hell, isn't that what we're in this for? To stare death in the face and to cheat it? Come on, there's nobility in that. It's like being knights.
No pressure, nobody breathing down my back, just driving because I left it pure.
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing is important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
I just hope when you do, that I'm there to see it.
Racing. That's the name of the game, isn't it? Win or lose, put up or shut up.
Fine. Then let's race.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Welcome back to the action, folks. The BLMRA 12 Hours of 2019 is 1/3 distance completed, and it is 3 minutes past midnight, and we are into the graveyard shift of the 2019 BLMRA 12 Hours. The next 4 hours are the ones that could be the most brutal on all of the competitors. I'm Jake Sanson, to my left is Mark Akeroyd, to my right is Caitlin Penny, and we've had a very dramatic BLMRA 12 Hours so far. Mark Akeroyd, you've just been watching the night cameras on the far side of the circuit. We had an incident at one of the S's, I think.
Yes, we did. We've got the CCTV set up this year to try and give us some sort of view of the circuit in the dark, and they were working reasonably well. I think it looks like we have some improvements to do, but yeah, I think it was Durban actually. I think it was Paul Durban, one of the battle memorial points. Group 2s broke down at the top end of the main straight as it turns left and goes round to the Sussex straight bend and stuff like that. Broke down on the corner, and it appears to be carted away now. So I haven't seen it come back down, but it's not there on the street anymore. I was just looking across at Les Lux Pussies, who are still working furiously on their mower, and hopefully they can get themselves sorted. I was actually thinking, just reading about Best Western, we're talking about them. They're actually the West Midlands Lawnmower Racing Association. So again, another faction, another club set up or has grown within the UK. Obviously the BLMRA, the British Lawnmower, started it. Then with the North West Lawnmower Racing Association, and now we have the West Midlands Lawnmower Racing Association, and there is also a South West, I think, Lawnmower Racing Association. So yeah, there's a Scottish one, I think, starting soon.
Oh wow!
And obviously we've got Guernsey, and they're in the tourist class. I mean, the Best Western though is actually following our rules, the British Lawnmower rules. So entered as a full competitant in the Group 4, and yes, doing very nicely at the moment in 4th place, 7 laps behind the leader. So and 41 is the Group 3, which is now in 5th place.
Well, the big headline, if you've only just joined us or you're returning to the scene of the crime, as it were, is that in the last 45 minutes, the major battle for the victory between Northerners Kit Grass and Les Lux Pussies, which were only about 4 or 5 seconds between them, has come to a premature end as the Les Lux Pussies team that won last year have had a massive fire down the pit straight. Just as they came onto the pit straight, the mower caught fire in a spectacular fashion, and it has destroyed their race. They are now down to 13th position, a full 15 laps off the lead, and it's still not any clearer as to whether they can actually start the mower again or not. They are literally just doing the diagnostics at the moment. Caitlin Penny, we've been watching a furious battle between those two crews, and it's a real shame that it's come to the end this way.
Yeah, 100%. It's always absolutely gutting when your vehicle blows up in that way. I suppose on the subject of it being gutting, it's lucky that it happened now and not right at the end, but whatever the case, I suppose that also gives them more time to repair it as well. You do need to cross the finish line at the end to be classified, which of course is why the Northerners weren't last year. But whatever the case, it's still going to be completely gutting for that team that happened. They were going quickly as well at the time. They were the quickest vehicle on the circuit, with the exception of the Northerners' vehicle. And yeah, they were having a great scrap up in front in terms of one would get in front, then the other one would get in front at the next pit stop, and then the next pit stop they'd switch again. And really, it was unclear who was going to come out on top. But yeah, unfortunately, the Leadlocks Pussy's car having a massive fire, creating a big smoke screen on the straight, so it's lucky that everyone got away with it. But anyway, that lawnmower still not out of the pits yet, dropping down the order. It's very shortly, going to be dropping outside of the top 20.
Well, speaking of dramatic cases of events, the Jurassic Coast Racing mower now finds itself down at the back. So the Jurassic Coast Racing team in the pits with some difficulties now in 14th position. We've just gone past the 4-hour mark compared to the 12 hours remaining, 12 hours event, so 8 hours to go. So I think it might be time for me to disappear downstairs again and start walking the pit lane. So I'm going to go do that. Obviously, we'll have a few more tidbits of information for competitors. So I'm going to make my way downstairs, cross the track again, so all of our listeners worldwide can find out where their favourite team is currently working. Mark and Caitlin can continue from the commentary box to determine how things are going. I'm going to head out onto the pit straight once again. This is how I stay awake during the race. A lot of people use energy drinks and Pro Plus and various forms of fatty foods. I've tried them, it doesn't work. So the best way to keep me up is to head out onto the circuit and do more of this spectacular stalking, essentially, of all of the teams through the course of the race. I'm stood here at this start-finish line waiting to cross the track, and I'm not joking, it literally is a miniature Le Mans 24 hours in feeling and atmosphere and gauge of mode. It's amazing, it really is spectacular, and it just thirsts the love and devotion for the event in every sense. It really is a passion doing this event, as I managed to get to the other side just before I get wiped out by the Dead Bull Racing mower.
Yeah, you ran up quick.
Yeah,
no goodbyes or anything.
I wasn't going very quickly, was I? I suddenly realised right at the end, that's a Dead Bull. I might actually become a Dead Bull if I'm not careful. So, trudging my way up the pit lane, it's crazy to think that I'm literally 3 metres, not even 3 metres from the racing line here, as they charge their way down the straight at 45, even close to 50 miles an hour in absolutely incredible chat on the main straight. And it's, I tell you what, I'm on this pit straight and you can't half smell burning. That fire is definitely still in the air a little bit. It's very interesting. From Leadlocks Pussies, it has completely transformed the state of the race. The number 9 Bullseye Racing mower just having a pit stop, and so far so good. They probably think Christmas has come early running in second place. That's absolutely amazing. So on they go, continuing on. Terrific racing. I love watching them come out of this hairpin onto the pit straight. So let's have a look, mower by mower, as we did before. 4 hours in, and it gets to just gone midnight. As John Cale once sang, it's after midnight. And let's see how we're doing from the top to the bottom again. We'll start with mowing nowhere fast. You a contradiction in terms at the moment? Are things going well?
Everything's going perfect. We've not had a single issue since you last came in.
That's incredible. That's 3 hours ago.
I know, yeah. Oh, I tell a lie. We've changed the tyre. It didn't actually go flat, but it was getting that way.
So essentially what you're going to need to do next year is change your name, because you might get sued under the Trade Subscriptions Act.
Oh, well, our lap times still aren't that good.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. Oh, okay, fair enough.
We're just doing lots of laps, slowly.
They're just going to go faster.
They're just going to go... One. Take care.
Thanks very much.
So far, mowing nowhere fast are still mowing, and that's the main thing. They have had no failures, really, to speak of. They've just got to keep on trekking. Really great to see, actually. 4 hours in, and so far, not so bad. However, the Crash Fest dummies, as they should now pretty much be required. I've got a rather dejected mechanic just hunched over the mower. This is not looking positive. Whereabouts are we in the grand scheme of things?
We're just trying to get the chain back together.
Back together, so it's literally disintegrating.
Track. Lost the chain around track. We're now getting it back together and going back out.
Fair enough. It really has been a bit of a trial by fire for you guys, this one, isn't it? No, it's one of those things.
Pardon?
It's one of those things.
One of those things that seems to be happening. We've hit a bad luck. Right.
Just a quick one.
Hopefully.
Jake, Going Commando has come into the pits. Obviously, their problems have reoccurred. Just to let you know.
Oh dear, that is a shame. Well, I'll try and figure out what it is that's happened. Right, I'm over at Dynamo, and the mower's not here anymore. Well, that's good news. They had some problems, of course. So let's have a quick update from Dynamo. Things were so rosy in the first half, and you guys probably would be about second now, have you not had that mechanical problem?
Probably still been third, but now we had the engine picked up, so running out of revs, revving it, had to change the engine. It's half an hour gone, and we're about 19th place now.
I suppose the only comfort is that it does seem to be a reoccurring problem amongst many other teams down the pit lane. They're losing about the same amount of time for the same problem. Yeah. So if it all catches up, you might well be back in contention again.
Yeah, at least it's early in the race for it to happen, you know. I'd rather it happen now than an hour from the end. So we've got plenty of time. I don't think we're going to get back to third, but who knows? Just keep pushing.
Okay, good luck and Godspeed.
Problems. Cheers.
It is tricky, but so many other people have had the same issue. Over at Best Western, this has been one of the comeback stories of the race, because you guys are now right in the hunt. This is going to be quite a thrilling end for you guys if it keeps up like this.
Yeah, it's been quite eventful. Started last, we had an issue with the battery. It was quite balls out racing, and managed to get through the pack. We had an issue about 2 hours ago. We thought it was a carburetor problem, came in, but it actually we ran out of fuel.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to admit that to people.
I think it was Carl who's pushing too hard. He drained the tank. But no, managed to get it back out there. We're sat in P4 again now. So hopefully we'll stay there.
So nobody's told your mower to just be frugal, you know, just sip?
Well, I don't think Carl and Matt know how to sip.
So at least it's a very thirsty mower, but it's a very quick one at the moment.
Yeah, it's going well at the moment. Let's touch wood, and I hope we get through. Well, I think we're about 4 hours in, aren't we? So, yeah, let's hope we get through without any more problems.
Yep, only 7 hours and 45 minutes to go. Keep it up.
Cheers, thank you.
Really good stuff from Best Western. What a fight back they have had over the race. I tell you, it's great to watch it. Over at Gash It and Bash It, you remember earlier when I told you there's nobody there? There's one here for Gash It and Bash It. So let's have a over at Gash It and Bash It.
Not a big team, are they?
No, there's not a big team of people here at Gash It and Bash It, are there?
Just the three of us, that's it. Yeah.
So one is on the mower, you're here, and the other one's in bed, I guess?
I would imagine so, yes, or skiving off somewhere.
Excellent. At least you're dumping a minute live on air. Well done. It's been a tricky one, this, hasn't it? Because at the start, you guys were leading, doing very, very well, and it's all kind of tumbled at the seams since then.
What happened is we rolled it in the corner and couldn't get it started again, and there you go, you're down to 20th place. The pace is so quick, you're out for a few minutes and you're losing places.
I suppose the only comfort is there are now several teams down the pit lane having similar problems or engine failures, so they're going to be in the pits for half an hour, so it could end up being that with more teams having that problem, you guys can get back into contention.
Well, that's for sure, because in France we polled in third position, dropped to 27th and pulled our way back at 5th. There's still a long way to go.
Awesome, we're really looking forward to seeing the second half and you guys fight your way back. Good luck.
Cheers.
Excellent stuff so far, and really good battles, some terrific action, and for each team, Best Western and Gash It and Bash It, it's been really good fun to watch them battle away. Over at Mofo, now they really have disappeared. We've got amazing empty awning, nobody's here. There's an awful lot of tools that could go for a nice bit of a Burton. Yeah, they might have been caught short actually, as the next door reminded me. They've been caught short. They're just going around the back for a quick loo break.
Quick update, Jake.
Oh yes, Caitlin.
Yes, so
Bullseye Racing pitted, and that put Trojan up in second place, and then Trojan pitted, and it was a relatively long stop, about 2:45, so that's definitely longer than half a minute. They've now dropped to fourth, meaning that Best Western are up into third place.
Well, that is very impressive. I've just been watching the Gash It and Bash It mower come out of the turn onto the pit straight on 2 wheels. Proper Larry as it comes out of the right-hander down the straight. 2 on the deck and 2 in the air. It's pretty spectacular. So they're really pushing it to come back. Meanwhile, over at the Swede Bashers, how is life? Because the motor seems to be getting back up to full strength again.
It's getting there. We've changed the engine. It's not misfiring now. It's going okay, but you know, as far as we got so far, really. How are you guys getting on? I've been out and done about an hour, no problems. Well, apart from a puncture, which was normal. The engine's going okay. It's not as good as the other one, but it was our spare. It was going. It's not misfiring, not missing all the time. So that's it now. Stay on, hopefully.
Fantastic. So hopefully there's going to be another trophy in it for you guys.
Oh, it's a long way yet. Hopefully, yes. I mean, where are we now? 42nd at the moment.
We're talking about the class podium here. That's what you guys are in this for.
There's only about 7 in our class, isn't there? So there's about 7 in our class, isn't there? 7 in the tourist. Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance.
Excellent. Keep pushing, and hopefully we'll see you at the end.
Yeah, we will. No worries.
Excellent. So the Sweet Bash is still giving it plenty. Next door, over at Average Joe's, it's looking pretty chilled. I'm actually going to take a pew on the red sofa. Oh my goodness, that was a bad idea. I'm here and I'm never getting up again. Now I know why you guys do this. I totally get why you have a sofa in the pits. Because you could literally just doze here till 7:30 in the morning. How are things, by the way, over at Average Joe's?
We're doing all right.
Yeah,
we're
still
in 9th.
Sorry, what were you asking?
So we're moving in the right way. I think we qualified 20th, so we're moving in the right direction. We haven't got the outright pace of the lead mowers, but we're banging in consistent laps and slowly working our way up. A little bit of reliability goes our way and against the others, and top 5 maybe. We're lucky.
There's a very good chance of it at the moment, because you guys just keep on picking off stragglers at the moment.
No, that's right. And we you know, between the 3 of us, you look at our lap times, we're very consistent between the 3 drivers, and we know that if the mower lasts, we can do that all day, and that will make you up a lot of places in an endurance race if you're banging in lap after lap within sort of a second or 2 of each other. You know, our quickest to our slowest lap's probably 2 seconds apart. You know, and over a stint, we're all on about the same sort of pace, so it's good. We'll get there. We'll be there at the end, hopefully, and see where we are.
Spectacular. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
We'll do. Thanks very much.
I'm going to struggle to get back up again. Oh dear, it's so comfortable. I'm not going to let on it's because I'm wearing a tight race suit. Thank you very much. Anyway, over at the miraculous Bullseye Racing, I'm so impressed by these guys. Still right in the hunt. Still in the top 3. P2 at the moment.
Mental.
As far as you guys are concerned, Christmas has come way too early.
Yes, definitely. It's better than we expected, to be fair. The laps are just coming. I don't think we're going to catch them at the front, but we'll give it a good go.
And of course, if anything happens to them, you are in the box seat. I'm trying to remember the last time a rookie team came and won this, and I can't remember. He doesn't know. He's literally got nothing to say on it.
Well, I don't know when the rookie team won.
Good luck. Have a great evening. Thank you. They are absolutely dumbfounded by this, and I think everybody's really elated that these guys have been ultra competitive in their first ever event, and they are second at the moment. Meanwhile, for Snail Speed Racing, this might be the first major stumbling block they have had all race, really. Their pace has been very solid, very consistent, and incredibly competitive. But for the first time, really, they seem to have some kind of issue. This might even be routine. I suppose we need to get in there and have a look and figure out. Now they are fixing something to
in there.
They're fixing something to the right-hand side of the car.
No,
the right-hand side to the
mower.
And they're changing something. They're sorting out cables. I think it's a throttle cable. So it looks to me, like they're changing a throttle cable. Cable ties, tying it to the
no one to ask.
It looks pretty involved, to be fair. Let's see if we can find out from one of the young mechanics. What are we changing at the moment?
Throttle cable.
See, I was right. Throttle cable. So that's the only real issue at the moment?
Yeah, the throttle cable snaps, so they're replacing it.
Fair enough. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll see you at the finish. Excellent stuff. The snap speed, guys, that's not a bad problem to have, actually. No. A throttle cable snapping is reasonable. That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And they're listening to us, because I can hear feedback on that.
Excellent. They are indeed. Over at SLR Mechanics, this has been a very... Sorry, what was that?
We're going.
You're going. You're done. Have you literally got no more to go?
It's dead. Seized up.
So you are officially our first retirement.
Wasn't there a £100 mower engine available somewhere down the pits or something?
Apparently,
like
yeah. Well, there's a team apparently down the pit lane that is selling an engine for £100 or nearest offer. Is that going to help at all, or not really? Are we gone beyond that?
You can't be asked to change it.
Yeah.
What was it that really caused the issue, do we think? Was it literally just an engine dying, or was it more to it than that?
Overheated, and that was that. Seized up. Game over.
It is a fast track.
That's so disappointing. And when did that happen? That was only the second hour, or not even then?
It was within the first hour.
In the first hour. So now it's back to the drawing board, ready for 2020.
Yeah, that's it.
Dear, oh dear. Well, thank you for taking part. Hopefully next year the luck's going to be with you better, right?
Yeah, we'll be back, definitely.
I'm glad to hear that, at least. At least you haven't been put off. Good luck and have a nice night.
Cheers.
What a shame. That's the first retirement.
Yep, they can start drinking the beer now.
Yes, they can. Not in the pit lane, but they can.
Yes.
But that is, unfortunately, you can chalk that up as the first official retirement from the race. Now, number 45, the SLR Mechanics. They didn't even make it past the first hour in the end of it all. And, well, it's always a shame when that's the case, but at least they gave it a good go. And as they said, we'll be back next year. The thing is, once you start racing in this, it's very, very hard to find a justifiable reason to stop. And that's the good thing. Right, over to RK Case Racing. These guys have definitely not done things by halves over the course of the event.
Apparently I've got to talk to
Yes, apparently this day, because he had to go last time. He did all right. The best way to describe it is this has been a really interesting experience for all of you, this particular running of the race. Last year was adventurous. This year's been a bit of a knife edge.
Interesting is a very good and polite way of putting it, yeah. Really just a calamity of errors from start to finish. Ironically, it's the two-stroke that's actually, the engine's absolutely fine, but the trailer's fallen apart, the exhaust has gone. So, yeah, we've just gone back to the yard and we are putting a new trailer together, basically. So we should be back on track in about
You're
an
building
hour.
a new trailer?
Hang on a minute. Where is the yard? Where is the yard?
10 minutes away.
10 minutes away? So you've gone back to the yard 10 minutes away?
Yeah.
You are literally rebuilding the mower?
Exactly.
Excellent. That is totally the spirit.
I prefer to be out there, mate, but yeah, we're lucky that it's down the road.
I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys get back out there. Give it the beans. We will see you later.
Cheers, buddy.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is commitment. Just as well that their yard is 10 minutes down the road. They can go and put a new trailer on it and get it back out there. We heard that it was sounding disgusting in terms of its noise.
Yeah, but that's a two-stroke for you.
Absolutely, but they're going to redo it and come back.
Absolutely. The case has got lots of stuff. They've got most of the road tax stuff in the whole of the lawnmower racing. They collected together.
It's phenomenal commitment. Fair play to them. Fair play to them. Meanwhile, over at Horseplay, that is actually a good description of what's going on, because there's something definitely calamitous at the front end, and actually Horseplay the second are getting involved in the repair job. They've just called out to me, but unfortunately wearing my headset, I'm not entirely sure. What was the issue?
The wheel bearing hub's gone.
Ah, now that's a big problem. It's on the left side. How quick a fix?
Huh?
How quick a fix?
5 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad then. All right, thanks, boys. So, Horseplay the first has got a wheel bearing hub problem. Over at Horseplay the second, there's no mower in the awning, so far so good.
No, we lost. We had a leak on the brake caliper, and one of the drivers was going down the main straight, and he had no brakes at the end of the straight.
Oh, was it you guys that struck the bail?
Yeah, so he hit one of the red bollards that's filled up with water, and it just bent the front axle inwards, and it's just caused. It would have taken too much to bend it back out again, and I think it would have been safe to go out anyway. So we just put it in the back of the car and retired it.
Oh, so you're out as well?
Yeah,
Horseplay the second is gone?
Yeah. it just wouldn't have been
Another
safe.
retiree.
I wouldn't have had the confidence to go out on it myself, so how can I expect two others to go out on it and race rounds? It's a shame we haven't finished, but that's racing at the end of the day. You sort of finish or you don't, really.
And try and avoid the plastic barrels.
Yeah, Marcus just reminded, try and avoid the plastic barrels is always part of it. It's always helpful with the choice mode. I suppose the comfort is that next door you've got the other horseplay. You can all just throw your weight behind that.
Yeah, we can help them out, and we'll be here till the end, really. So should be good.
Stirring stuff. One down, but not out.
No, not at all.
Keep it up, mate.
Next year.
Next year for the both of them. Good job.
Thank you.
So that's one horseplay out. Horseplay the second is out of the race. That was the one that struck the barrier at the first, at the bottom of the heavy. Oh, we've got a mower breaking down up at the top end. Just in front of me, in fact, past the first corner. We've got a mower that's stopped out on the circuit.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know if we've got any yellow flags.
Oh, now they've got it going again. Blimey! That just went out of the blocks like a jackrabbit. I didn't know these things could do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. But it looked pretty quick.
They're pretty quick when they get the gearing right.
Seriously, that was like something out of Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. It just bolted out of the block. Very impressive. Anyway, over at Jurassic Coast Racing, and Mower Madness are still plugging on with this particular mower. There have been some hiccups, but so far, it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's nothing's impossible. It's early days, sort of coming up to halfway nearly. I think we can pull it back and finish in the top 4.
So what was the problem that brought you into the pit lane about 40 minutes ago?
Just belt issues, really. Just changed the idle pulley on it, and they're back out there and they're going quite well at the moment. So no issues, really. It's all going well.
So how is the track evolving at this point? Because obviously it's getting quite dry out there, but how is that changing the conditions of the circuit?
They're changing the track every hour. It's wear and tear. It's going to alter. It's just the way it goes. The more it's hit, the harder it's going to get.
Fair enough. Keep on plugging it away and we'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
Cheers. Good stuff over at Jurassic Coast Racing. I nearly took half their awning with me because it got caught on my headphones. Right, cross-cutters. It's been an adventure and it's still quite adventurous. How are things going for the number 30 right now?
Yeah, we're going well. Yeah, very good.
So in terms of the overall balance, the way that obviously the attrition rate is quite high for a lot of the competitors, but you guys are still plugging away with it and there's some good power and pace.
Yeah, it's quite good. I can't hear you very well.
No road. Yeah. So we're going into the second half of the race fairly soon. What's the likelihood of a strong finish towards the second half?
Yeah, well, I think it's been quite good actually. I mean, it's all going around well, and no problems at all at the moment. So it's all promising.
Sounds good to be up tempo. Have a good one.
All right, cheers.
So cross-cutters, no major problem. Over at Dead Bull Racing, they're still smiling. Oh, I'm going to sit beside Joe. I'm going to sit beside Mr. Grimer. How am I? I'm doing great, mate. The Dead Bull Racing mower has seen better days, but at least it's plugging around. What happened?
Well, first we had in qualifying. We had only set 2 laps, so we came 8, but it was all right after then. But then, like clutch trouble and belt trouble has been ridding us so far, but we're slowly getting back. So, you know what we'll do. Keep rolling away, and it'll come to us in the end.
Sounds pretty reasonable. It's obviously been a bit tricky the last hour or so, but this is the point in the race now, these next 4 hours, where a lot of your opposition are going to start finding things that break into little tiny pieces. Hopefully you guys have already had the brunt of it.
Yeah, hopefully it broke down while we was all energised, and then we can just start passing people when they start to break down. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Have you had any jokes already from the Toro Muerto boys down the end? Have they started taunting yet?
Well, seeing as that I passed both of their new drivers, I don't think they will be taking any jokes.
Cheers, Joe. Always a pleasure, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So there you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Love it.
Just cutting news. I just spotted, didn't see them go out. I don't know whether Caitlin did or not, but guess what? Les Luck's garage is empty.
No way.
Les Luck's Pussies is on the circuit.
You're absolutely right. They're running in You're absolutely right. They're running in 22nd position overall. They have a lot of ground to make up, but they are not in their garage, and I think they're just about to come through. So fantastic from Les's looks. And yeah, that's a really, really good effort to get that car that, let's not forget, was on fire just a couple of minutes ago, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. 24 laps later, basically, they, which is what, 1 minute.
There they go, they've just passed me.
Yeah, there we go. Lap time 1:45.
That is baffling.
I mean, wow. It probably still looks a bit white. I don't know whether they've cleaned it or not.
Wow. Okay, I am going to get the story about that one in a minute.
You are going to have to do that, yes. Well, moving on down.
In about 4.5 minutes, Northerners Kitgrass are going to have a pit stop. Just to put the 5-minute board out. So, how are things? The Northerners Kitgrass, I'm guessing the failure for Lesluk's Pussies have made things a little bit easier.
It certainly changed the dynamic of the race. It was really, really intense before, and they were both absolutely flat out. I think it was unfortunate what happened to Lesluk's. We've backed off a little bit. There's been a number of launches blown up already. We've got to take care of ours, get to the end, and we'll see what happens.
In the middle of that intensity, that battle, when there was about 40 minutes or so of the two of you trading lap times and even swapping places a few times, that must have been just about the highest pressure you guys have been under for the lead of a race at any one point during the last 6 years.
Absolutely. I think we were sat here, we were working out, we were matching drivers against drivers, and we actually decided, we came to the conclusion that Lesluk's were quicker, and all things being equal would probably beat us over the race, which has not happened for a long time.
So there was a genuine concern you guys were not going to be able to keep up with them?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's been made a bit easier, but let's say now lightning strikes twice. There's a genuine threat from the guys who are about 6-7 laps back. So you guys cannot even begin to get complacent at this point. You've just got to keep on ticking every box and get on with it.
Absolutely right. I think we're monitoring the gap. It's extended slightly. The plan right now is to not overstress the engine. We'll see what happens. Long way to go. And we learned last year this race can bite you in the backside right at the very end. So we'll take nothing for granted. We'll check, and we'll keep going, and fingers crossed we get to the end.
Fair enough. Keep up the good work so far. Good luck.
Thank you.
The Northerners Kitgrass are definitely not counting chickens before they hatch. They know how tough this race can be and how painful it can be to bite them at the very end.
Man, I did get a little gist there that possibly the engine wasn't quite perfect.
Oh, crosscutters. Crosscutters in trouble. Crosscutters at the first corner. They haven't quite made it round the first apex, and they are in trouble there. So that's a real problem for crosscutters. Oh my word, 4 wide into the first corner.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was a bit scary.
It's right on the corner there. I hope there's no yellow flag.
Whoa!
Running across the track like that,
that's suicidally dangerous. I hope they're not going to do that again.
They've got to get their mower pushed around that corner or pull around or something.
Well, that's
They're doing it.
Yeah, they are.
Wow.
Well, that is the team from... who was that running across the
track?
track?
Flashing red lights from this side.
Yeah, that
is.
is.
I could see that you could see them, but.
Well, that is crosscutters, and obviously they're trying to race back. And it looks like he's carrying the fuel can.
They run out again.
It looks like they ran out of fuel.
Misjudged this track.
This is the thing.
It's using more fuel than they thought it would.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's a new circuit, so all of the calculations and the mathematics they've done about fuel strategies. For some teams, they're just pushing it to the limit and realising too late that it's all gone horribly wrong. So
pretty certain we'll find the average lap speed here is at least 2 or 3 miles an hour faster than our previous tracks.
Well,
so they're burning more fuel.
Well, before I continue my run down the pit lane, we've already mentioned that if the Northerners Kitgrass keep going at this pace, they're going to smash the distance record. They're going to absolutely obliterate it. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be a very intriguing second half. Over at Noodle Star, it's been up and down, topsy-turvy, but how are things at the moment?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Nice and steady, getting the laps in.
Have you had any buyers yet for your engine? Has anybody come over and had a quick look at it?
I don't think they like it.
An open market? Have you not thought about eBay? I mean, there's enough people here, you know, surely some of them have got an app on their phone.
Yeah, probably.
So, you say £100 or nearest offer. If someone chucks 30 quid in the pot and that's the only offer you get...
Well, we'll take anything right now.
Oh, you're taking it? Okay, fair enough. As long as I know where the line is, that's fine. Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
So there you go. Engine to a careful owner, if needed. Throw 30 quid in it and he might get it, because it's £100 or nearest offer. Right, over at the Rallycross Team B1, Guten Abend. Let's wander over. How is the race currently going?
Yeah, very nice. We are on the 11th place. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, very fast, very good. Yeah.
The circuit is to your liking?
Yeah, very nice, very fast, very good.
So this is your first time to the UK for the 12 hours. You're coming back?
Yeah. Next year.
You've got the addiction.
Yeah.
Excellent. Feeling that?
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, the German team are absolutely head over heels in love with this circuit, with this mode. It's their first time to the 12 hours. I think we've definitely won the German squad over. That's excellent. Right, over at Heck Garden, the Belgian team. This is Andrew, who is with us. No, how are things over at Heck Garden? How is the mower running at the moment?
Sorry.
No, that's.
Don't understand.
Is it okay? Is the mower okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's universal language. We can all understand. Okay. So Heck Garden running at all right at the moment. Over at Team Ali, how is the mower running at the moment?
Just French.
French. Okay. I'm going to have un moment. Je parle un peu français. Le mower c'est ok maintenant?
Maintenant c'est ok, oui, il y a tout qui roule correctement, donc on a un petit souci de frein, mais ça va aller.
Merci bien. À tout à l'heure.
Ouais, merci.
So basically they're having, the loose translation of that is that there's no major concerns or issues with the mower at the moment, so that's good. Right.
They're in 11th place, so yes, they're behind Rallycross.
Les Lux. We have to, yes.
That's what's happened
now,
there.
There was a fire.
Yes.
What was the cause of the fire?
The engine is...
So the engine is just dead?
The engine is dead, yes.
Okay.
The valves are...
So the engine blew up.
So basically the engine decided enough. The engine had enough.
Yeah, the engine had enough.
Okay.
It's the engine from last year, from 12 hour.
Oh, so there was the same engine from last year?
Yeah, yes.
Right, okay. So the winning engine has had enough. So you've just changed the engine completely?
Yes, we changed the engine completely, yes.
Was there a moment when you looked at it and thought, we have to end? Or were you just, no, let's go out and fix it?
What was the second problem?
No, we said we change and race, yes.
So it's always going to be the way. Was there a second problem recently? Was there another problem?
No, it's no other problem, no.
So now it's just you are in the same place that the Northerners team were last year. The problem has hit, and now that you have to fight back.
We have to fight back, yes. But it's hard to fight back.
Okay, well, you've already gone back, so the only way now is forwards.
What?
The only way now is up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good luck. Bon chance.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jake, they very recently set their personal best lap of the race as well. So
wow.
The Les Lux absolutely flying at this point in time. They've had a little bit of traffic on their last couple of laps, but yeah, a couple of laps ago, absolutely blistering lap. Not quite fastest overall, but very, very close.
Well, Simon Funnell is right beside me on the Toro Muerto. How are things, mate?
Yeah, it's all good out there. It's just the lights just dropped off.
Oh no, okay, so repairing of the lights. That's hopefully
More light problems.
Hopefully that's not too long a job, but the mower's been going like stink out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely a dream to drive. It's so comfy, it's just like sitting on an armchair.
So what are Deadpool not doing that you guys are?
I think it's the drivers.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'll tell Joe Grammer you said that. Thanks, Simon.
Also, yeah, Les Lux are actually 23 laps behind. No, 24, but yeah.
Righto.
I thought they got a lap back actually, but
So a bit of an issue then for Les Lux, but they are going to fight back. I love this little inter-team squabble between Deadpool and Toro Muerto. It's fantastic. Just like Toro Rosso and Red Bull in F1.
I tell you what, talking of that, Deadpool has also just set their fastest lap at the race as well, their personal best.
Okay.
yes, they have 1 minute 47.
I'm at the halfway point in the pit lane, and I'm chilling out with leopard print patterns and blankets on the podium at the moment. This is pretty swish. I'm in podium paradise right here. We've got a massive queue of people just all tucking in.
Who's there? Is it?
Who's there? Oh, it's all hangers on by the look of it. I think we've got fan clubs all along the way. What's this, sorry?
We're nice and comfy.
Nice and comfy. How are you enjoying the race so far?
Yes, but it's getting a bit boring now, so...
How dare you? Getting a bit boring. You're not the kind of person who watches Love Island, are you?
No, I hate Love Island.
Excellent. Well, that's fine. You've just won some brownie points back. If it's getting boring, why don't you buy a mower and race next year?
Well, I am 16, so I could race this year, but looks a bit dangerous out there. And, yeah.
Isn't that the point?
Well, I suppose so, but she's no good on a mower. I crash all the time.
You've got a year to practice.
That is true, but why don't you have a go?
Because I'm too fat. There's a very big difference there.
No, you're not. There's plenty of fat people on the track that are racing now.
You're going to drop some names on us?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God, chatting up the girlies.
Well, they're all enjoying it, but they seem to think it's boring. I think they obviously need to get a bit of a head check.
Hey, Jake.
Not boring at all.
Someone who doesn't think it's boring is whoever's in charge of the Les Lux vehicle at the minute. They've just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 142.761.
Blimey.
Yeah, not too bad for a vehicle that very, very recently became a complete roast.
Now, that was a new engine. If that was the case, I mean, getting from the gist of what you were saying, Jake, or what they were saying, the engine blew up, caught fire, so they took the engine off and replaced it. So they've done an engine change in 24 minutes, basically, or 27 minutes.
Tally ho, look at them go through the first corner.
Now they're actually driving that brand new engine. As he said, it was last year's engine, so well used.
Jeez.
They've now got a new engine on there, or probably a part-tuned engine.
I just saw them go through the first corner, 2 wheels in the air and 2 on the deck again. They are absolutely rapid.
It could be Bob on there. I don't know, maybe you should find out who was actually on the actual mower.
Yeah.
But if it's Bob going there, then yes, he will be the fastest one of the lot, because he is just awesome on the track.
Well, if anybody's going to drag them back into contention, kicking and screaming, it's going to be Bob Kurdinger, isn't it? Into the pits comes the 92. So this is the 92. Pain in the Grass is coming in. We'll go and speak to them in a moment. Meanwhile, over at Who's Racing, their mower is not in the awning, which is great news. How are things at Who's Racing?
I didn't hear any of that.
No, it's one of those nights. How are things at Who's Racing now? Because we were in here for an awfully long time.
Yeah, we had a problem with the lights on the front. No idea. It might have been something to do with the fire that we had earlier. But we've rigged up some new lights, and it's out there again. Colin Clegg's out there at the moment. We dropped a few positions, but we'll just keep going.
So it's just basically a case of digging deep and seeing what happens next, essentially, because we're in that phase when a lot of mowers will break down.
Yeah, hopefully that's it. We've had a few problems. Dan Jones is messing about in the background.
He is indeed, isn't he? He's very childish.
Yeah, he is very childish. He is a childish member of the team.
Mind you, to be fair, I think he's got good licence to after having a bit of a flame job earlier.
Yeah. Apparently he's got no short and curlies left. They all got burnt off. But
never had him in the first place.
Mark Akeroyd. I'm glad you didn't have the radio on at that point. Let's put it that way. Thanks, mate. Dear, oh dear. We've gone past the witching hour. Over at Going Commando, there's been a couple of hiccups, but the mower's going quite well, actually, isn't it?
Until something falls off it, yeah. Going all right when it's going, but bits keep falling off it, unfortunately.
Right. So what was the latest calamity?
We've had, well, the latest one was the rear panel fell off, or nearly fell off.
So it was wagging behind like a tail. I think Caitlin spotted that one earlier.
Yeah, but we've had so many bits, like lights packing up, and they blew the engine up, broken belts.
You name it, it's had it.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, so not a good year this year, but hey ho.
Well, at least there's a checkered flag to look forward to in a little over 6.5 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Good luck.
They haven't used all the spares up.
They might have a bit of a run of spares still remaining. Now into the pits comes that's the Het Garden team. Pain in the Grass have come in and they've popped it in the awning, and
they've sent him out again.
Well, no. At the moment they're fiddling with the engine. It's the little fan. I think. Well, it's where the pull string is essentially. That's where there's a difficulty at the moment. So let's get in and have a quick ask. What's the current teething problem for Pain in the Grass? What's the issue?
Ball start's come off.
Ah, the ball start. Oh yes, there it is in your hand. Very, very, very classy of you. You still got it there. So it's a new one going on, basically.
Sorry?
So it's a new one going on.
Yeah. Well, no, one from earlier. This is the second time it's happened tonight. So.
Ah, right.
Yeah, they fixed that one. This one's come off. So yeah.
So
electric start, I think.
basically, we're now at the stage of gaffer tape and prayer.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully your knees are going to be sensitive enough for you to go down on them if you need to.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep pushing.
Yeah. Cheers.
Dear, oh dear. It's well and truly snapped the pulley once again, and that's the second time.
Jake, is Bullseye in the pits? Because they've just lost 2 positions.
Bullseye Racing. They're right down the other end. I can't see that far down.
Okay, because second is now Best Western and third is now Trojan.
Right, so there's a potential that Bullseye definitely have a problem. What I will do is I will get to the other end. I've got to walk back that way anyway, so I will have a butcher's. But keep an eye out for them if they emerge before I do.
Will do.
Right, Phoenix Racing. Over at Team Phoenix. It's been an interesting one. There have been some challenges along the way. How is the mower currently going at the moment for Phoenix?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's all right. We've had a few carb issues and an exhaust issue. But yeah, it's now sorted and we're, fingers crossed, we're doing all right.
In terms of the pace, the mower has actually been getting quicker and quicker, and there doesn't seem to be any drop in consistency at all.
No, we seem to be doing all right. Hopefully we can start playing catch up and, like I say, be a bit consistent.
And this is the phase of the race when there's a lot of attrition, so if you guys have already had the teething troubles, there's a chance to make progress.
Yeah, hopefully we've got that out of our system and all done and dusted, while other people have, well, not hopefully have problems, but while they have problems, hopefully we won't have problems.
Fair play. Well, keep it up, and hopefully the Phoenix will rise from the flames, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Keep it up. All going really well over at Phoenix at the moment. Screw Loop Racing. Now, these guys have been in and out and all in the top 10. They climbed to the dizzying heights of 5th place at one stage, I think. Screw Loose Racing definitely have a strong chance here. Let's have a quick butchers and have a word in. 6th position at the moment, as 5th place at one stage, so this is a terrific race for you guys. It's really starting to come alive.
Yeah, well, there's a new build as well, so see what happens, see if it keeps going.
And considering that over the last couple of times you've had a look at this event, I mean, the luck has not been there. Yeah. Now it really starts to, it looks like 2019 could be the year.
Well, it could be. Never know. Let's hope so. So see if it keeps going, that's the main thing, just want to finish.
Okay, well, good stuff, keep it up.
Lovely, thank you.
So for once, Screw Loose Racing finally seem to be getting the luck of the draw. It's finally going their way, which is great news. Now over at Mo Masters, we've got 2 of them just chatting away in the garage. We'll have a look and see if we can have a word with one of the crew at Mo Masters. They're actually listening to us at the same time at 87.7. Oh, that's good. Can I take you outside for a moment? Is that all right? Just so I don't hear myself too often. How are things currently with the mower? Because there were some difficulties a little while ago.
Yeah, we had the top hat sheared 3 of the bolts and ripped all the guides off, so we had to bring it in for about 45 minutes and get it all welded back on. So it put us a little bit behind, but hopefully now we'll get a bit of a clearer run.
That's a long job, and obviously that's pretty curtains for the bolts, but have you got it all sussed and sorted now?
Yeah, it's all underway, and it seems to be running well now, so hopefully we'll get a few hours trouble-free, touch wood, and we'll all look a little bit better.
Okay, well, hopefully it goes well for you, and we'll see you in a much better position the next time.
Top job, cheers.
Awesome, so Mo Masters got himself back into the action again. Over at Herbert & Sons, there are some long faces and some exhausted faces, but it's going to be interesting to see how things continue on. How is Herbie Goes Bananas at the moment? It's looking interesting.
Yeah, going all right. Had a few issues with the clutch slipping. But no, still going.
And the team is obviously still full of bright spirits, but it is getting tricky out there.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rainy with some of the corners. Yeah.
So what happens next, essentially? Are you now just waiting for some of the other teams to hit trouble, or are you just trying to get yourself back up to speed?
Well, no, we're just plod along, keep it going. Just see how the mower goes.
March to the finish line.
Yeah.
Two-step if necessary.
Yeah. See what happens. Never tell what's going to happen.
Well, hopefully it's a good one. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Yep, you.
So not too bad at all from Herbert and Sons.
There's definitely a problem for Bullseye Racing. They're in the pit garage, and that's a big shame because they were running second, of course.
They were indeed.
And that's the brand new team we keep talking about.
That's their first problem in their first running.
Yeah, no, they're dropping well down the order now. That's a big shame for Bullseye. And I recently saw a yellow flag down at turn 6. So connecting 2 and 2, joining the dots. I think I know roughly what happened.
Right, okay. We'll go and have a look at that in a little while.
Turn 7, sorry.
Yeah. But meanwhile, over at Morons, again, there's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of good nattering away, but the mower, in essence, looks pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, it's been pretty much spot on. Just had a bit of a brake issue. That's the first one of the night, but it's sorted now. It's back out, so it's all good.
And I guess as things progress, it's you're just about trying to keep the thing going and hope that nothing major goes wrong.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think we're fingers crossed, really.
In terms of the enjoyment of the event, this is, in essence, it's kind of like the first time in a way for Morons Motorsport. So how are you guys all enjoying it?
Yeah, I think they love driving, but it's still early hours, so we'll tell later on when they're knackered, basically.
So that question will have a better answer at 8:15 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we're half asleep.
Fair enough. Enjoy it.
Cheers, mate.
Still all going well at Morons Motorsport, getting their toes wet and going straight into the main element of it. That's an interesting sight to walk in on. Fitness training for Mr. Russell over at McLaren as he tries to get the feeling back into his joints. See, this is a very physical sport, and he's having to do stretches and crunches and lurches just to get the physicality and the blood pumping back through the body again. It is proper physical. I don't think people really truly appreciate how tough it is. I mean, if you don't prepare for this, if you don't train for it, you can end up in a hospital bed in the first half hour. It is very physical, very intense. And people look at these lawnmowers as, just a bit of a lawn. It's a load of rubbish, guys. You have no idea, no concept as to just how physical and how demanding it is to compete in these mowers. Let's wander over and grab a word with Mr. Russell.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jake, we also have the Les's Lux car back in the awning. So there's more problems for that vehicle, and just after setting the fastest lap of the race as well.
Right.
Hopefully, they haven't blown their second engine.
Right, well, we'll keep an eye on that in a moment. We're over at McLaren. Mr. Russell just limbering up. We've got to remember that this is an incredibly physical discipline, and you guys have got to keep on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought, I do a lot of endurance racing myself, so I knew that it being so bumpy out there that everyone's going to be feeling it in their back. So I thought, put a couple of stretches in, loosen up once you've been sitting down after a couple of hours. You need to make sure you're nice and, lucid to go back in the car.
So amongst the drivers, how many bruises can you count amongst each other so far, or is it not too bad at the moment?
I don't know, I think it's actually not too bad. Yeah, it's I haven't taken my body armour off, so I don't know how many I've got. I'd like to think none. I feel alright. Dan's got a few. I think Sam probably had a few as well, but yeah, not doing too bad.
At least now mechanically the mower is starting to fire on all cylinders again.
Yeah, it was an annoying start. Shame we had to do an engine change so early on. It was really frustrating, but the buy a new engine and it's done an hour and then it goes bang, and our trusty old one is just going well, so see how it goes.
They say you shouldn't buy trusty shiny new, you should go for the old faithful, old reliable.
Yeah, it's looking like that, isn't it? You'd think, brand new motor, great, it'll be fresh out of the box. No, it hasn't worked out too well, so yeah. Very luck.
Hopefully it continues on in a more positive light. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
See, it's like ballet shoes or ice skates to a competitive Olympic athlete. You shouldn't just bang in brand new ones. You've got to break them in before you do competitive competition. I need to get out of the way because Mo Fear are about to come into the pits. So Mo Fear are going to do a pit stop. So I'll linger close by because that is the next crew I wanted to speak to. So I'm going to hang in there and try and grab a word with the Mo Fear crew as they make their way to the pits. Down the straight, that's the 42 just blasting past my position. A little bit of a casual crossing of the road in the middle there. Actually, looking around, there are still the odd hardcore passionate spectators around, aren't there? There are not many compared to where they were earlier. We certainly don't have the 2,000 mark like we had earlier at the start, but
No, indeed, exactly. No, people do stay. As I said,
there's a few hardcore.
There might be a few tents even out in the actual car park area, but yeah, there's a few hangers on.
How could you sleep in a tent with this going on? The noise. You just can't escape
You
it.
can sleep in Le Mans and it's even louder, mate, you know.
That's true. Well, I didn't sleep at Le Mans either, to be fair.
I slept in the commentary box last year with you two nattering on.
That's very true. That was our fault, though. We did kind of put you to sleep, Caitlin. We do apologise.
No, joking.
We do apologise.
We'll try again this year,
Yeah, we'll try again. So 43 coming into the pits. They are signalling to the 43, and I think they're going to get the message pretty quickly. Slamming on the brakes. Oh, goodness. My word. Even standing to one side, they almost got flattened. That is so hard to get the mower slowed down on the straight line down the hill. And fair play to them. That was... from the moment they saw the signal, the driver, just trying to get the mower slowed down. And it's once you're committed to going 35 to 40 miles an hour down the straight, it's really hard to get the thing slowed down. So fair play. And this looks like it's going to be a fairly decent scheduled stop. Fuel going in to the Group 3 Mofia. Fuel going in, fuel going in, fuel going in. And they're going to close up the tank. Hopefully it's going to be a perfectly clean restart. And a nice little nudge back under its own steam, and away goes Mofia. Little bit of a cough and a splutter, and away it goes. So that was nicely handled. Well, the driver's just come off from Mofia. How was that? That looked pretty awesome.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, it's getting a bit like a washboard in places, but yeah, it's good fun.
So you're finding there are certain corners on the circuit where the rivets are so high you're actually leaving the deck?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I am personally, but...
Mind you, you are one of the lighter drivers in the field this year, so you've probably got a bit more airtime than others.
I get a lot more airtime than others, that's for sure. Yeah.
In terms of where the mower is currently, where you were predicting and where the strategy is going, is everything according to plan?
So far, yeah. So far, it's all, going to plan, so yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Well, hopefully it carries on that way. Good luck with it.
No troubles yet.
Excellent. No troubles yet at Mofia. So far, so good. Their rivals next door, R&M Racing, have had a solid and smooth, consistent run so far. So let's see how things are currently looking for the team as we come to the next stage. So we're flirting with 1 o'clock in the morning, almost at the halfway stage, and the mower's still going strong.
So far so good. Engine's running pretty sweet, and it's doing exactly what we want it to do. And yeah, doing all right. Long way to go though. It's endurance racing. Anything can happen.
So we've obviously gone past the first crucial stage. How are the energy levels? Because this is when the tiredness starts to kick in.
Yeah, not too bad. We just had a cup of tea and coffee, and it's all been fine. Some biscuits, and I'm about to go out and do my stint, and that'll wake me up. And our time pit crew here are pretty good at sort of keeping each other awake. So yeah, it'll be fine.
Excellent. Hopefully there's a nice trophy at the end of it. Good luck. Enjoy your stint.
Thank you very much.
Good news, Jake. Both Les Lux and Bullseye are back on track. Bullseye is running 6th. They didn't really lose that much time, still 6th place. Les Lux, I'm afraid, are 22nd, but still good to see them both back out on track and circulating.
Yeah, it's definitely important to try and make as much progress as they can. So, yes, good to see them returning to the... Meanwhile, down at crew number 20, Swing Low Sweet Chariot, how are things currently with the number 20?
We had a good first hour, then the Gremlins struck. A rotten second hour, touch wood and whistle. I think we got them sorted, so we're still circulating. Who can tell what the future holds?
How tough is the circuit? Because it looks as though it's getting faster but more tricky to handle.
It's getting bumpier, but definitely there's more grip. Yeah, more grip coming every lap. Yeah.
So the target for the second half of the race, do we think we've had the Gremlins now, or that there's a chance they might come back?
Commentators curse. Don't curse me.
I shall not curse you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Jake. Thanks, Jake. Bye.
Touch wood and whistle.
I was just going to say that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that expression. That's almost up there with sit on it and rotate.
Oh, that's good.
That's a nice one. I always like that one as well. Well, the other one I like from the Irish is dry up and blow away. I've always liked that one. Now, over at the Battle of Britain, Memorial Flight, red and yellow section, having a lovely race. we can get in there and have a natter with the boys and how things are currently moving. So BLMF going well. Both mowers still plenty of pace and plenty of speed. So far, you guys have been able to bat back anything that's thrown at you.
Yeah, we had a couple of small issues early on in the race which put us back a little bit, but it's going okay at the moment. Haven't quite got the pace we want, so we're losing a little bit each lap to the Night Riders, but it's all there to play for. If they have a slight problem, we can be straight back on top of them. So hopefully.
And as we've seen with the Luxembourgers in Group 4, all it takes is one major hammer blow and you're right back in it.
Yeah, so hopefully we've had our issues this race already. Get them out of the way early and then just keep on going. Not even halfway yet, so anything can happen.
Okay, well, good luck, and hopefully there's two nice crews towards the trophies at the end.
Thank you.
Really exciting battles then from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Squads. Next door, over at Ratty's Heroes, Ratty's Racers even. They are heroes though, let's be fair. They're having a scheduled pit stop, and it just looks as though it's all tickety-boo with Ratty's. And fuel can, obviously, oh, hang on. That doesn't look very promising. The foam pipe, a foam covered pipe I should say, smoking rather badly on the left side, or is that normal, Mark? I'm not entirely sure if that's normal or not. But there's a nice little steam.
Were you talking to me? Or?
I was. There's a nice little. I don't know how to describe this on Ratty's Races, but they've got this pipe on the left side of the engine, just beside it.
Yeah.
It's covered in foam. They've wrapped around it.
Yeah.
But there's a nice trail of steam emanating from it.
Yeah, that's the exhaust.
Okay, fair enough.
It actually comes down from the engine and exits through the actual grass box, what used to be the grass box generally. Probably about an inch across. And it's wrapped in sort of, heat insulating tape. It's not asbestos, but something similar.
Okay.
So it's not foam, but it's actually a wrap.
Right.
And yes, it will steam.
The only reason I point it out is that if that was happening to my Mazda 5, I would be pulling over now. It looks interesting.
Well, all Group 2s are interesting, really.
Yes, that's true.
One's just rolled over at turn 1, and the driver's got straight back on, and he's trying to restart it. Sorry, turn 7, not turn 1.
Oh, that's the 19.
The end of the pit straight.
That's the 19. That's mowing nowhere fast.
Oh, and it's come to
spin.
complete.
It's
come to a complete standstill. The track is completely blocked down there.
Spin. Right, I'm going to get down there. And have a look.
Yeah, it looks as if one flipped over and another one spun, and now the track is completely blocked, and they're going to have to try to clean that as quickly as they can.
Oh my goodness.
Because lawnmowers are coming down and they just don't have any route through.
Oh,
Some are getting going at the front, but there's still an utter roadblock there. Drivers are being waved to a slow.
It's one of the Battle of Britain Memorial flights. It's the 62. That's red section. So they've stopped initially. That's what's caused the issue. They're restarting, and now everybody's trying to get the mowers back up to speed again. So, oh dear.
And the roadblock is cleared. Oh my goodness, carnage.
Well, a massive spin in the middle of all of that for Bullseye Racing. They suddenly realised too late that the circuit was blocked, and they just slammed on the brakes. And of course, what happens then is that the wheels lock, and the whole weight transfer of the mower shifts, and it just causes a massive tank slap.
Of course, yeah. I was more concerned about the one that rolled over and then got rated, and that one I didn't see it, but it was right in the middle. And I'm very glad actually that the lawnmower that spun did spin, because if not, they probably would have ploughed straight into that mess.
To be fair, I think the one that rolled over, there's no major concerns, which is
that's good.
Baffling,
that's good.
But yeah, a big sigh of relief. But that got pretty heated pretty quickly, and that was a little bit scary. Oh, I can breathe again now. Right, Ratty's Racers. I was going to talk to them, and so far so good. So let's see how things currently are over at Ratty's Racers. The mower looks, again, no major concerns compared to when we saw you last.
No, it's all running quite smoothly at the moment. Long may it continue. But no problems really.
This Group 2 fight really does look like it's going to go to the wire between a good 3 or 4 of you. Is there any one of you who can have a chance to get this victory?
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, it's we've still got a long way to go yet, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
Well, hopefully it continues going good. Good luck.
Thanks very much indeed.
So Ratty's race is running very well. and they are one of about 4 or 5 crews that could take the Group 2 victory. There's still a long way left in this, especially now that one of their close rivals, the EJH racing mower, is stuck in the pits. They're doing something towards the front end of it. They're currently searching through the tool. Ooh, they've had water come out of it by the look of it, or certainly fluid has come out of it at some stage on the left side of the mower. I'm not sure what the situation is there, but let's see if we can grab a word in and have a look. EJH Racing was running beautifully, now not so much. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is that the drive shaft from the chain case to the engine has broken, and it was because the shaft is a made shaft for a Honda, it wasn't long enough for the mower, so a friend of ours welded it with another piece and the weld snapped. But that is always a problem when you're welding two metals, because eventually it cracks around the weld.
That's fair enough. I mean, that's the best of a bad job, but at least now you know that the problem is found, it can be diagnosed and it can be sorted pretty quick.
Well, we hope so. The biggest problem is that we're trying to drill through what is a very hardened shaft. We keep blunting all the drills to start with. But the only way we could do it was we thought if we drilled through the outer shell, which is like a washer, and welded that together with a shaft, then that way it would stay put. But it didn't.
Right.
So we now drilled a hole through it, and we wanged a bolt in there, and we welded the bolt in, and that did at least 100 yards.
Oh, good. At least that's some progress, I suppose.
I'm having another idea.
Excellent. Okay, well,
back later, and we'll tell you if it's worked.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Jake, we've also had some issues more with attitude. The second place Group 3 car,
right,
or lawnmower, has gone into the awning. That's been in there for a couple of minutes now. And also Gashard and Bashett, third in the tourist class, have also just gone back into their garage awning as well.
Right. Do you know what? The thing I take away from that interview more than anything else is the phrase, wanged it with a bolt.
Wanged a bolt in it.
Wanged a bolt in it.
That's a good one.
That's an expression I've taken right to the bank. Wanged in a bolt. Oh, love it. That's a brilliant one. Right.
Almost as good as touch wood and whistle.
It is a bit, yeah. The Night Riders. Let's see how things are currently with the Night Riders. So far, so good at the moment.
Yeah, things are going just about fine at the moment, touch wood. Hopefully keep it up, we might get a result.
Now it's mighty close between these Group 2 mowers, but we're finding that we're now hitting the stage of the race where attrition is really starting to kick in.
Yeah, it's all about breakdowns now for the next 6 hours, so we'll see how it goes.
So as long as you can avoid them, things are in good stead.
Yeah, as long as we can preempt and repair them before it actually happens, yeah, we should be doing well.
So there's certain things that you get to look out for, but are you able to catch a problem before it happens fairly easily with the Group 2s, or can they still spring a surprise on you?
Oh no, they can spring a surprise, but with changing that, you can get a bit of a rattling noise and preempt it and come in, change it, see where you are, take a chance really.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully it's a straightforward one for you so far. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We've had a move for fourth on the road. Screw Loose in the 26 has overtaken the 41 R&M Racing Group 3 leader on the road. So that's for fourth overall, although they're not competitors in the same class.
Okay, no, that's pretty exciting stuff. That's good. 60 plus, we don't have a mower in the awning, and we only have obviously the one driver waiting around to see it come through. So let's have a quick word. 60 plus, and still going on.
Still going strong, yeah. He's out there. Do another 20 minutes, then we'll have a tea break.
I love your mode of racing. You're the team I want to be in.
Yeah, no, we're going all right.
Excellent. So no major catastrophes, no causes for concern, just bowling along.
Yeah, just toddling along.
Sweet. Good stuff. Keep it up. I want to be in that team. I'm not kidding. I will pretend to be over 60. They are an amazing team. 20 more minutes, then come in for a tea break. Just like Alfa Romeo in the 20s at Belgium. Love it. That's what I want to do. That's my ambition in life, to be part of the 60s plus racing team. Anyway, Grass Bandits and Bandits Brothers. It doesn't rain for this team. It pours, but let's see how things are currently. Oh, I'm going to fall over. With the squad, there's been some trials and tribulations with these two mowers, hasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of trials and tribulations. Plenty of problems, clutch problems, belts keep falling off. They're getting there now, they're running all right now.
And the thing is, when they're running ridiculously quickly.
They are, yeah. Both about the same at the moment. So, yeah, it's pretty good. 31's probably quicker in a straight line than the 25.
So basically now, as far as you guys are concerned, hopefully all the bugs are gone, and now it's just a case of catching up when everybody else has theirs.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Well, good luck with it.
Thank you.
So the Bandits, two mowers, trying to get back up to speed again. So they continue on their way. Over at Get Set Mow, I think they're about to have a driver change by the look of things. So let's see how things are currently over at Get Set Mows. The mower running okay at the moment?
Yeah, we're going all right. We're still going anyway.
Driver change imminent by the look of things as well?
Yeah, one more lap and then driver change, yeah.
So is the strategy going the way that you guys originally set out, or have you had to adapt it a little bit to the changing conditions?
Well, we was hoping to do about 55 minutes for each man, but we're having we can't get it out of the tank, so we're doing 50-minute stints now. So yeah, which is pretty normal, but we're hoping to get a bit more out of the tank, but it's not working out like that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully you can get a little bit more as the race continues to progress, and you can bring it back a bit further. Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
So the mower's still running very strong in terms of speed. Now, we were talking earlier about mowers with attitude. There are some shakes of heads at the moment. Let's see how things are at MWA. It's been entertaining, let's put it that way, but you guys have a good contention for a good result now.
Yeah, I don't know, we've had a couple of problems, belt problems, engine plate problems, so our pit stops have been quite long, so we've dropped back a bit, but hopefully we'll make it up again.
Well, the thing is, when you guys are on the track at full chat, the mower's pretty rapid.
Yeah, no, it seems to be sticking with some of the tractors, which is quite fun, but yeah, we'll see.
We're now into the nuts and bolts of the race in the graveyard shift, when anything can happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen to you guys.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, wishing some other people some bad fortune in the nicest possible way.
Fair enough. Good luck with it. So mowers with attitude, hoping that the bad luck doesn't hit them over the... Ooh. Well, that's an interesting tactic for the Bandits brothers. Their number's nearly fallen off. They're pushing that hard. It's very nearly fallen the entirety of the mower. So that's interesting. Well, the first stints of sleep have begun for the fan club at Trojan Racing. I think the female members of the team have had enough, and they've started falling asleep. Over at Trojan, though, guys are riding the crest of a wave at the moment. You're flirting with second, third, fourth, fifth. It could be a very, very tasty race for you guys.
Early days, still a long way to go. We don't want to get too excited. Long way to go. But at the moment, I don't want to see too much.
Understandable. I mean, it's obviously very satisfying, but a lot of the big names have started to tumble by the wayside. And if you guys are not going to push it too hard, if you just stick to your plan, there's a very good chance that we can end up with a podium at the end of it.
Yeah, we don't want to push it any further. I think we've got to a happy medium at the moment, and I think we just carry on like we are. If we're pushing it a bit further, we might just have a little bit of a problem. We don't really want to push that. So we're all happy where the pace we're going, so just stay where we are.
Fair play. Well, hopefully it's a good one for you all. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
So Trojan Racing having a great run so far. They just need to keep it up, keep pushing, and hopefully all should be well. My last stop on my pit lane tour, Red Rooster Racing. There's been some adventures in the last 2.5 hours, but in essence the mower's still going.
The mower's still going. I mean, this is the hard yards now, isn't it? I mean, this is where you put the effort in, you put the work in, and I mean, it's this stage of the night when I get halfway around the course and I think I'm coming up to that right-hand turn, and I realise I'm actually in a completely different part of the track. It's like I'm steering into a right-hand side and actually I'm in somewhere else. So you just got to try and keep your concentration now, I think. You know what I mean? And just not do anything stupid. And you know, this is where you can really sort of make a mistake and end up in the bale of hay.
So how easy is it to lose that rhythm of focus when you're like plate spinners? You've got so many things to be concerned about. You've got your tyres, you've got your fuel load, you've got the brake, the clutch, the steering lock, everything. You just got to be so minute. When you get to sort of 1 a.m, 2 a.m, surely that's too much for one person to deal with.
Well, I think the problem is, the danger is what you end up doing is just you hit like autopilot. So So you're just like everything's just happening. You're not really thinking about what you're doing or how you're doing it or what's coming up. It's just sort of happening. But then it's like being hypnotised, and then the next thing you know, you're getting in a tussle with someone or something like that, and it takes your focus away, and then that's where I think you can end up sort of making a bit of a mistake, And ultimately, you pull over for 2 minutes, and that's just wasted, 10 laps of shaving 5 seconds a lap off. You know what I mean? And that's galling if that happens. So it's just trying not to let that happen. That's all I'm thinking. I'm just thinking, basically, the only thought in my head is don't crash. Someone's crashed. Don't do that. Don't crash. I'm going to crash. Someone's crashed. That's all I'm thinking, really.
Fair enough. It's understandable. Hopefully it's going to be a good second half of the race for you guys. Good luck.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
So there we are. From one end of the pits to the other. Did that take about an hour and a half? I think it did, didn't it? But I still want to stay down here because this is when things are really going to start to cause a little bit of a headache for people. There are going to be some high levels of attrition as things start to act up. And obviously being down here in the pits, we can kind of gauge what's happening as it happens.
I was going to say that return for a battery change, because I think the old level, I don't know what the actual mic is saying to you at the moment.
Oh, I see.
In terms of display, but if you have a look,
3 bars.
3 bars.
3 bars. It's still
good.
Full to the max.
There was a bit of break up. I thought all batteries going down. We have been talking for a while on it, transmitting. But if it's only 3 bars, then no, that's fine. And I must admit, it seemed to work better down at number 4, the last one on the list.
That's because I wasn't quite so deep into an awning, I think. That's
yeah. I mean, the thing is, obviously, yeah. But, in that case, you've got 3 bars left, or at least another bar to go and carry on talking if you want.
Well, into the
We're
pits.
quite happy and warm up here, so...
Well, into the pits next to me comes the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Red section, and they pulled it straight into the awning, so it's not a scheduled pit stop.
Wasn't that the one that had a crash?
I think it might be, yeah. I think there's something wrong with the trailer, So, what's the problem?
Just a battery change.
Just a battery change. Oh, that's all right. That's not a big problem. So a battery change then. So they've obviously realised it's starting to cut out. So a quick battery change. Next door at Swing Low Sweet Chariot, it's all hands welding because there's sparks flying at the moment, just underneath the engine as they get things together. So this could end up being quite interesting. Sparks fly, and this is an interesting one for Swing Low Sweet
Safety,
Chariot.
yes. Petrol, engine. Let's do a bit of welding underneath it.
See, this is why for this year I thought I'm going to be this close to the action in the pits. I'm going to put a race suit on because then I can get put out pretty quickly if I need to. Yeah, it doesn't ruin my Volkswagen T-shirt if I do that. See.
I know. Don't worry.
What's the current issue?
The bonnet keeps popping up as we're going along. I think I knocked something in the last one, so the bonnet just keeps popping up. So they're just welding it back down so it don't come up again.
So you've got, if you were in a Mazda MX-5, there was a very good chance of it going up against the windscreen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough. Okay, well, hopefully you can fix it quick. Good luck.
Thank you.
So the bonnet flapping about in the breeze. You don't want that on a mower. You don't want that on anything, really. Bad enough having all sorts of things that can happen, and then the potential of the bonnet flapping up and falling away. That could be very entertaining. So I look down the pit lane again, and other than the ones I've already mentioned just in the last 5 minutes, nothing else really to report at that end of the pit lane. This is fabulous watching these mowers come down the straight at full chat. And the radar doesn't seem to be delivering the full speed at the moment, but they're still, you can tell that they're still clocking a good 44, 45 miles an hour. Absolutely, something's happened at Phoenix. Well, this was all going beautifully to plan, and now we've got another issue, unfortunately. So they're looking on the other side of the Phoenix mower, and it's definitely towards the front end of the mower. Looks like it's under the axle, actually. So whether it's a bearing that's gone or something, or maybe the bolt has sheared somewhere, or something has caused a little bit of a headache. The whole team is still all smiles, though. There's no ridiculously long faces. It's just one of those things by the look of it. So, Phoenix Racing, where are we up to? What's the issue?
Fixed. Now back out.
Oh, it's fixed. And what was it?
He, again, broke the mower.
Oh, again, so you're just blaming everyone else?
he blows up engines, and now he's just broke the steering. The bearing had come off, so we just had to borrow another one, and now it's all back to normal.
All of shame.
So we just got to make up the time we've lost again.
Okay, fair enough. And you can then do washing up on the way home.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, fine. Great stuff from Phoenix. So one driver just pushing too hard and knackering it is essentially the official line we've got. So we're continuing. Oh, there's fewer and fewer people now hanging out on the podium. Well, that's good. That means that when I eventually do fall asleep, I can stretch out even further later, so that's good. Where are we up to? Oh, we're getting close to the... Has that clock stopped? I think the clock in front of me has stopped moving. So what time are we on now, gents?
So, it is 1:21 a.m., meaning we have elapsed 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're almost at the halfway stage then.
Well... Yeah, about 40 minutes to go, just under that.
Yeah, that's not bad. Closer to the halfway stage than the start, so that's always important. Now let's have a look at the timing screens in front of me, because I can actually check what's going on here. Northern has kicked grass ahead by 7 laps to Best Western and Trojan. Screwless up to 4th now, that's the highest they've ever been. R&M Racing 5th from Bullseye, Get Set Mo, Toro Muerto, and Average Joe's in 9th place. So who's leading in Group 2? I think it's still the Night Riders, but not by much actually. Only a handful of laps. And the Razi Cross Team B1, the German squad, are up to 10th place. So they've definitely been making some good progress. But there's a lot of teams that are having some major attrition problems now. There's a lot of mechanical problems creeping in. I think the teams have... The moral of the story is essentially the teams have really underestimated just how physically demanding and how much of a challenge this circuit has proved to be. It's a really tricky situation for everybody, but I think in essence the teams have actually completely underestimated just how physical the challenge was going to be for all of the mowers. And in terms of the engineering of it, it's really starting to bite back against some of the teams. So
not that it was going to make a mega difference, because of course they all broke down anyway last year. It just tends to happen like that in lawnmower racing.
The thing is, a lot of the big problems have happened quite early into the race, so
indeed,
that just makes the we've already lost several engines. There's been some big mechanical difficulties to strike a fair few teams, so it basically means that the second half of the race is even more predictable than it has been in previous years, because a lot of the teams have already had some major big issues. So what else is there, essentially? What else is there that can go wrong on some of these mowers? I'll tell you what, the Les Lux team are looking so fed up and exhausted now.
There are some things happening on track right now, actually. The Grass Bandits have just passed Razzie Cross Team B1 on track for 10th position overall. Also, the 2 leading tourist vehicles are now on the same lap as each other, due to Toro Muerto's latest pit stop. And Trojan, currently running in 3rd position, have just set their personal best lap of the race. So some things going on track at the minute, and I'm mainly interested in the progress of Trojan, because that is a pretty decent lap there.
Jolly ho, all sounding pretty positive. Down at Les Lux, I'm going to speak to Daniel.
Yeah.
There was a problem about half an hour ago after the engine failure. What was the problem?
Bob he has the finger.
Oh no!
Oh, Bob's done.
Yeah, Bob.
So Bob has finished. He's not going to go any further.
In the morning.
In the morning he'll come back.
He'll come back. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's just the other 2 that will continue, and Bob is sleeping.
Yeah, Bob sleeps.
Fair enough. He's pushed it very hard. Thanks very much.
No problem.
So that was why they came back in again. I think Bob, knowing of course that he had to try and make up time.
Okay, well I'm glad it was just that. I thought he gestured to his finger, like Bob's finger injury that we know, but luckily
they did say coming into this that he was borderline as to how much he could actually contribute to the team, because of what would happen before, of course, and what the injury he had sustained. So I guess it's basically a case of they've pushed Bob as far as he can go, and he hasn't got anything else left. So I'm getting motivation from Dead Bull Racing. Come on, Jake, keep going, keep going. I am still pushing as hard as I can. I'm starting to get tired now, but if I stay on my feet, it's not a problem. But the problem with Bob is that we knew that with him having that injury, it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be very, very physical for him.
Yeah.
And he was stretching his limit anyway, so I think he's done fair enough to get to where he's gone.
Meanwhile, Resi Cross Team B1 have got back ahead of Grass Bandits, so I reckon Grass Bandits may have stopped as they haven't come through yet. So I think there's been a pit stop there. From 10th position overall, they've dropped to 11th as it stands. Indeed, they come across the line, and that does look like a lap time that includes a pit stop. And the B1 team doing very well in 10th position, especially considering they weren't, if I remember correctly, in the early stages of the race, they were struggling to get into the top 20.
They were indeed. Remember the RK Case Racing team that had to go 10 minutes down the road to get their thing sorted?
I do remember them.
Well, the continuing adventures, we have a mower back in the awning again, and they are starting to put it back together. It looks like a mower again. It doesn't look like a blank sheet of paper.
Does it have a new trailer?
Does it have a new trailer? It certainly looks like it looks like a Group 2 again.
That's good. So that's a good start, yeah.
It is getting there. So 10 minutes down the road, you've been plummeting away and getting things sorted, and now it looks like a mower again.
It looks like one. Yeah, mate. We'll see if we get back out there. We'll be back out there in like 20 minutes or so. But yeah, fortunate to have the yard just down the road. But we'll be back out there soon enough.
Good stuff. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Determination and perseverance like I've not seen in many other forms of motorsport before from these guys. Absolutely brilliant. When you consider that we've had 2 retirements already, and we're still pushing on. Is everything okay with snail speed? All is good with the motor at the moment?
Sorry, what was that?
All is good with the snail speed again?
Yes, yeah, we're going well actually, we're doing good.
So now that it's got a new throttle cable, we're all alright?
We certainly are.
Spot on. What was that?
No problems after my dad flipped it.
Oh, you flipped it? Was that up at turn 7?
Yes, it was.
Ah, right. So we were trying to figure out which mower it was that went over that caused the nice little roadblock. So now, no.
For a few seconds. Only for a few seconds.
Oh yes, it was still spotted.
Off I went.
So where's the scars? Come on, there's got to be some scars. Oh well, there's a dirty shirt now. That's all right. Fair play. Welcome to the world of the first corner rollover.
Thank you very much.
Good job. So there you go. That's another rollover club member added, and all is going very well. So now we know at least that the snail speed was the one that toppled over. But fortunately, it hasn't changed a thing. They're still going well. Welcome to the rollover club. However, down at Crash Test Dummies Reborn, the 16 is still there. I think it's spent more time in the awning than it's spent on the circuit now. And it looks pretty sorry, actually. It's a trial by pure determination and stubbornness, I think, from the crew now, just to keep the thing pounding around the circuit whenever they can. But more problems within the engine, by the look of it, over at Crash Test Dummies. And there's more problems next door, actually. Mowing Nowhere Fast have finally had their first major catastrophe. I think they were touching everything wooden they could possibly get near, but it, for the first time, has really started to bite back. So a couple of teething problems. And I love the fact that with this particular mower, it really is all hands to the mower. There's not one person standing back and just letting it all happen. They're all getting involved. All 6 members of the crew absolutely swarming around. They've all got a job. And it's pretty incredible how these guys are still motivated and determined. It's 1:30 in the morning. They've been at this since 8 p.m. and they are still all pushing and all still motivated. Now, because I'm back at the top end of the pits, I can watch the very dramatic and very dynamic hairpin corner up at turn 6. So that's where I am at the moment. And I'm just trying to get a bit of a gauge of the track's surface, actually, because, oh goodness me, they are putting so much energy and effort into slowing the mowers down for this tight hairpin up at the right-hander as the mowers approach the start-finish straight again. Best Western very nearly kissing the bale as they come through, the really large one on the edge of the apex, on the exit of that hairpin, on the flick onto the pit straight. And the mowers really are bouncing around out there. 2 or 3 wheels in the air as one leaves the deck. Oh, and into the pits. Into the pits comes the 5. The Dynamo mower is stopping directly in front of me. And now they've got it going again. And they brought it straight back to the pits. So the Dynamo mower is having a pit stop. It looks fairly scheduled, actually, but they stopped directly in front of me. So close I could have leant out and nudged the tyres. But in essence, it looks as though this is a scheduled stop for Dynamo. Fuel cap goes on. And so far, so good. No major issues or concerns this time for Dynamo. Straight out into the race, and that was a 30-second pit stop. Really, really quick. If only the crews next door could have had 30 seconds for their latest pit stop, but they've both been there for at least 5 minutes each. But it's very, very physical out there on the circuit. It's really starting to come to blows. And there's a lot of teams that are now really starting to bear the brunt of the physicality of this race circuit. It's biting. It's properly biting. Picking up, chewing them and spitting out crews. Every 5 minutes or so there seems to be another one in dire straits or jeopardy. And they are still giving it full guns blazing, still trying to take it to the max. But it's never easy. Now we've got the number 10 snail speed mower about to come into the pits for a pit stop directly in front of us, and they're going to bring it straight into the pits. Now that was tricky to slow the mower down. I wonder if there's an issue with the brake, actually, thinking about that, because that was tricky to slow the thing down. Oh no, it's a battery change. Straight away, a battery change, so they're going to, I think that just looks more scheduled than anything else. Obviously they've got to try and make sure that the battery doesn't die at the wrong moment, but it's a quick battery change. Bring the mower in, change the battery over, connect it back up. No need to change fuel by the look top up with fuel by the look of it. So the battery is put back into position. It's about a 60-second job if it's done well. And they're just finding out how tricky it can be at the limit of adhesion. Fair play to the team for bringing the mower in pretty much on the lock stops. Slowing the thing down as they come into the awning. And now they're just putting the battery back together again. They're going to wheel him back out. And this is going to turn out to be a 60-second change of battery straight into the action. Goodness me, they barely even blinked. A great battery change there. That was really quick. Further down the road, meanwhile, and for the RKK Racing team, they've wheeled it back out, and they are looking at the possibility of getting the thing back into the race again, considering that they had to go 10 minutes down the road to get it into position to get it started again. So this is pure determination and motivation from the whole crew to get the mower running again. Looking out onto the main straight, we still have a fantastic set of duels as they come down the straight, and the mowers are still pushing very, very hard as they come out of this kink and down the hill. Still pushing 40 to 45 miles an hour once they get to the braking zone for the next kink. Why am I coughing? It's RKK Racing. They just tried to start the thing up again, and all of the muck and excuse me, all of the muck and rubbish that was near it, they've just managed to clear it. So I think they are going to get back out on the circuit again. But I'm terribly sorry. I nearly choked on air there, but it's all okay. I'm sure there's a bottle of water waiting for me around the back somewhere. But fair play to them. They went round the corner. They've got it going again, and now they're about to head back out on circuit. Good stuff from the RKK Case Racing team. Never ever give up. And so we have two retirements so far from the race, of course. The SLR mechanics who have packed up, gone home and gone to bed, and the Horseplay 2 squad. The Horseplay is still going, but the Horseplay 2 squad, after that big trip into the bales, they felt it just wasn't safe to continue trying to keep it going, so they are out of the race. So two mowers we know of are definitely out of contention, and the battle continues with more teams and more competitors trying to make headway through this part of the race. We're starting to get crews up and down here yawning. This isn't good. We're not even halfway yet. Don't start me yawning. I intend to get to the finish line of this. I look up into the commentary box and I think both Caitlin and Mark have disappeared. I'm on my own. Oh, excellent. I can dominate the broadcast with whatever I want. Actually, what it turns out I am dominating the broadcast with at the moment is a heck of a lot of people falling asleep. That's about where we're at the moment. Into the pits have come Going Commando, the number 2 mower. So Going Commando are in a rather tricky position as they are getting something sorted. It looks fairly routine though. He says that, and then he notices that they're... Oh no, they're just tying... Is that the new battery in position? I think it might be. Maybe a change of battery there for the number 2. Going Commando. See, these are the little things that need to be changed over the course of a race. You just got to tick each of the boxes and get it all correctly in place. You've got to cross the T's and dot the I's to a certain extent. Tell you what, this race is really taking its toll. Physically, mentally, it's a proper drainer, the BLMRA 12 hours. I've actually found it, over the years, tougher to keep this under wraps in terms of my own composure than the Le Mans 24 hours, because that starts in the daytime and finishes in the daytime. You can pretty much kind of gauge yourself. With the 12 hours, it's more physical, because you've been up all day anyway without anything much happening, and then 8 o'clock comes, and your adrenaline's pumping, and you get up to the top, and then it wears you out quite quickly. Oh, goodness me. That was a tough one into the first corner. That was the German squad.
Yeah, very
Racing
true.
Cross B1.
Very true, Jake. In fact, excuse me. In fact, I've just been watching the live timing. Bullseye Racing, who of course had that issue earlier on, are absolutely charging. They've just worked their way past R&M Racing for 6th place, and also, for 5th place, and also Screw Loose Racing for 4th place. So Bullseye back up into 4th position as it stands. They do, however, have to catch almost 2 laps if they're going to get back onto the overall podium, but still, a good recovery drive so far from the Bullseye Racing squad, and with plenty of time left in the race, over half of the race still to go. Who's to say that they're not going to make that time back?
Well, Going Commando are back in the pits again with another issue, so their race is really tumbling about their ears, unfortunately. It's a real shame for the squad, because they've got plenty of determination, but unfortunately none of the luck at this phase of the race, so it's causing serious problems at the moment. Just watching these guys as they charge down the main straight and then charge down the pit straight adjacent to them. Northerners Kick Grass continuing on their way as they lap Trojan. Now that's got to be fairly significant, hasn't it? Because Trojan are currently in 3rd place. So Northerners Kick Grass have now put another lap on them.
For the 11th time. Which just shows you how much of an advantage the Northerners Kick Grass team actually have. It's not really that significant at all.
Well, that is pretty incredible how they've got that lead. But Best Western currently sat in 2nd place. Let's not forget that at one stage they were up in 48th. They were in 48th position at one stage. So it's all started to get really quite impressive. They're now in 2nd in front of Trojan, Bullseye and Screw Loose.
Oh, sorry, 8th time. I was looking at the wrong vehicle.
8th time, yeah, absolutely.
Still, quite a significant gap, nonetheless.
So the 4 teams at the very bottom of the table, only 2 of them are officially confirmed as a retirement. One of them, of course, is the SLR Mechanics, and they sadly are out of the race. They only completed 23 laps of racing. RK Case Racing had to go down to their yard and spend a bit of time repairing the trailer, and that's only 10 minutes down the road, so they were able to do so in their yard and get back into the race, which they have now done. Crash Test Dummies Reborn, well, they have definitely spent more time in the awning than they have actually spent on the racetrack, and that's gone terribly, terribly badly from their point of view. They are currently sat in 46th place, and the Horseplay 2 squad, well, they had that massive accident down the hill into turn 7 as they hit the bale, and it completely bent the front axle, and as far as they were concerned, it was too big a risk to send them back out again with what could have been a very bad result for them. EJH Racing have now slipped to 44th, having had problems. The only reason 60 Plus are in 42nd is because they're taking their time over it. They're not really pushing for the victory. They're not really chasing anything massive. They just want to have fun and get to the finish of a race, and they're quite happy to come in and have a tea break if they need to. So excellent stuff from them. Fastest lap of the race is still a 1:42.758 from the Les Lux Pussies, and clearly Bob Kerdinger, who has finally gone to bed, exhausted, drained and spent. He's had enough, and the team that are currently down in 20th position are now just trying to fight back from the 27 laps that they lost due to the fire earlier on at the beginning of the 4th hour. And what a shame for them, because that was going so well for them up at that point, and we were having an amazing race with that team and Northerners Kick Grass. And since then, it hasn't exactly mellowed out, but certainly between the lead challenge, it has fizzled a little bit as the Les Lux Pussies go past me. They're trying to gain the ground, and into the pits comes the 43 of Mo Fear. So some very significant... cross cutters are in the pits again. So cross cutters have had an issue as into the pits comes the 20, that is Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot. And also in the pits going Commando, and they are frantically trying to get that mower going again. But it's a tricky situation for several people in the field right now, and we still have some big mechanical difficulties up at both ends of the field. So some difficult problems, and it's getting quite hairy out there, to be fair.
Indeed, yeah. We had another pit stop that last time around from the Bullseye Racing vehicle. So the two lawnmowers it just passed have got back ahead again. But judging by the pace that it had before, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bullseye getting straight back past them again before you can blink your eyes twice. They're just about to complete their first lap back on circuit. And they're very quickly catching the R&M Racing Group 3 leader as well.
So we're getting closer to the end of the halfway mark, and it's really starting to settle into a very good run for Northerners Kickgrass, who have this advantage now over their closest opposition. And we're starting to get some really intense races lower down in the field as drivers are starting to gain the grounds on their opponents from earlier delays. So we're really starting to cook with gas. Can I leave you in the capable hands of Caitlin Penny for a short while as I go and grab myself some water and some Pro Plus?
Indeed.
Because the energy levels are starting to drain again. We need to top up. So I'll be back in a bit. But thank you so much, Caitlin, for keeping me company. And I'll be back in a short while.
No problem whatsoever, Jake. No problem. So... As the conditions continue to change, this appears to be probably the fastest period of the race we've had so far. I've seen plenty of vehicles, plenty of lawnmowers set in their fastest timed laps last time through. The Murons car did. They're in the 152s at the minute. And also the Who's Racing lawnmower in the 148s. So some pretty quick laps coming in there. However, the Murons, unfortunately, have gone straight back into their awning, as have Mufia, who are, of course, second in Group 3. They're in their awning as well, and maybe about to lose out, as the third place vehicle in Group 3, Moore with Attitude, is only a couple of seconds down the road. And I think we may be about to see the two swap, unless the Mufia lawnmower can get out in time. Just looking around this circuit at night, it's quite amazing seeing the headlights ducking down the hill, going red and then going white again as they come back up the hill. That's not magic, of course, it's just the ones on the rear are red, obviously. And you also get the LED lights, as I was pointing out earlier, that some of these vehicles have. They're not mandatory, although some of the teams have gone really crazy with the LED lights. One just passed me with really flashy blue ones on the rear. You've also got quite a lot plastered all over that Deadpool machine. I think Deadpool win the prize for the most LED lights this year. Also possibly the least practical because you can't really see the number anymore. The LED lights are kind of drowning it out a little bit. But anyway, definitely looks quite spectacular. There's another one going around. I think it might be the 97, which has an LED light on the inside of the rear right wheel, which is interesting. And you can see that one kind of spinning around as it comes past. It's quite beautiful, to be honest. I also have some very nice red ones, very nice long red lights on the rear of the Night Racer lawnmower as well, making that one quite distinguishable. Currently leading the Group 2 category as well. Of course, that was the vehicle that took pole position in its class by I think 4 seconds, or even over 4 seconds. It was really quite a special result for that team. And they haven't, I think they haven't lost the lead at all. Actually, ignore me on that. They did lose the lead in the early stages of the race, as they were making pit stops more readily than their opponents. although since then they've held that lead quite considerably from the two RAF Battle of Britain Memorial teams. Red ahead of blue as it stands. So that's 62 ahead of 65. And that's actually the first time in a while we've brought you a Group 2 update. We started the race with plenty of Group 2s. I think we've got 4 on track at the minute. We've got those 3 that I brought up, as well as the Ratty Racers. No, we've got 5 actually, because the over 60s are on track as well. Good to see the 60 plus team, Reg Funnel and David Jackman. There's actually, I know that in the Blancpain GT Sports Club there's a prize for the over 60s called the Iron Cup. So I'm going to nickname that the Iron Team there, the 60 plus vehicle. 66 is their number, so I suppose they lived up to it. They are 60 plus. There is a lawnmower going slowly to the side of the road, just coming out of the final corner along the pit straight. Rattle, 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 and that's because someone's pushing it. And that is is that 91? So that's one of the tourist, one of the tourist vehicles. Let me just get you who that is. That's Average Joes, who are second in the tourist class, and actually recently got onto the lead lap in that class as well. So that's dramatic for the Average Joes. They're going to lose a lot of time through this, whatever the problem is. Hopefully it's not too large, and that's going to give Toru Muerto some breathing space in the tourist trophy. Average Joe is currently 9th overall as well, so that's not just a class position at stake, but also a pretty decent overall position. And hopefully they can get that repaired as quickly as possible. It may be something as simple as just, I don't know, maybe the belt came off, or maybe they ran out of fuel or something. I really don't know. There's also another lawnmower stopped at turn 1 there on the inside. Blue LED lights flashing, so that's the... not entirely sure. The one with the flashy blue lights that I brought up just a few minutes ago, I think it's a green lawnmower. Although I don't want to speculate on what one it actually is yet. It doesn't appear to be serious. It appears to have just pulled off by the side, and that will probably be mechanical issues. And I'll bring that to you, or tell you who that is, if I can figure it out at all. Just flashing away on the inside there. At least you can see it. At least it's not difficult. I suppose it's got its own inbuilt hazard lights there, which is very handy. A whole group of them heading up to the top part of the course there, right together. Not the first time I've seen vehicles going 4 wide so far in this race. It's quite a spectacle. And if you've never been to a lawnmower race, I would definitely advise going down to check one out. It's very, very exciting all the way through. And even when you don't have lawnmowers necessarily that close in the order, on track it's always absolutely hectic. And even when it isn't, just watching individual lawnmowers cornering is quite something to behold. You get them bouncing up in the air, you get them sliding sideways. Some of them appear to slither on the entry, and some of them understeer on the exit as well. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love to be having a go in one of these as well. I've never ridden a lawnmower. I've driven a tractor, but definitely not at this speed. Yeah, fantastic to see. Meanwhile, Bullseye Racing has managed to fight their way back past R&M and Screw Loose, and I think that's in the effective order now as well, because I think that Screw Loose and R&M are going to be next to stop or they're going to stop before the Bullseye machine. So Bullseye making progress on their recovery drive. The next target is Trojan, who are 2 laps up the road. Not unassailable. We now have 10 minutes left until the halfway point in this race. It's amazing to think we've been going at it for almost 6 hours already. The flag dropping doesn't feel that long ago at all. I'd say it feels more like probably 3 hours ago, but whatever the case. Again, a big scrap of vehicles going side by side towards turn 6, and we've still got that lawnmower stopped to the inside. They haven't been able to push it back to the pits yet, so that's losing valuable time, whichever one it is. Average Joes did make it back okay. I think they have gone under their awning. I'll definitely tell you the next time we see the 91 go past. I was interested actually a couple of minutes to read about the, which team was it? It was Pain in the Grass. I was just reminded by one of their pit stops that a couple of their riders, Riley Williams and Daniel Thomas, they were here last year, but not in that vehicle. They were helping out in that vehicle, but they were actually riding the Imber Greeners vehicle, which was comprised entirely of a team of teenagers. And of course, they are in that team because, who is it? Carl Williams is Riley Williams' dad, and also a previous member of that team, Barry Thomas, is the father of Daniel Thomas, who is in that this year. And it makes me feel very jealous as well that people my age are going out here on these lawnmowers and giving it their best shot, because although I love commentary, I would definitely give quite a lot to actually be able to race in an event like this. And if I ever get an opportunity, I will absolutely hop on down to a BLMRA race and don my race helmet. But anyway, we are joined again, I think, by Jake Sanson, who's made his way back up into the commentary box. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry, Jake. I called you in too soon. You finish your cookie there. My apologies.
It's definitely helping. Let's put it that way. It's getting the energy levels back up.
Jolly good. So as we approach halfway into the race, it's still Northerners Kit Grass leading from Best Western and Trojan, who are also, of course, the top three in Group 4. The Group 3 leader is still R&M Racing, followed by Move Fear, who have made it out of the pit lane and were with Attitude in 17th overall. They're also third in Group 3. In terms of tourists, Toro Muerto are still leading that, followed by the Average Joes, who are still in their pit awning, so hopefully the Average Joes can make it out sooner or later. Well, sooner, preferably sooner. They've lost about 4 laps to the Toro Muerto vehicle while they're in there, though. And third, another vehicle that's been hampered all the way through tonight's race, Gashard and Bashard, still going and still circulating. And then as well, in the Group 2 runners, they're a little bit further back due to them being a much older and slower spec of lawnmower. We have the Night Riders still leading that quite convincingly, followed by the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Red section and Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Yellow section, but the Yellow section are unfortunately in the pits and being caught, in the pit awning, and being caught quite rapidly there by Ratty's Racers, so we may well get a change soon for third place in Group 2. Hopefully the BBMF Yellow section's problem isn't too severe, but Ratty's Racers are gaining on them hand over fist, and that may change before long. So that's how the class podiums stand at this point in the race. Ratty's Racers catching the back of the Group 2 podium. And also, in terms of Group 3, we're probably not going to get any new vehicles that I haven't already read out on the podium, since the next Group 3 vehicle is actually the SLR Mechanics one, I think, which of course hasn't set many laps in this race at all. That one was all but eliminated earlier on. Well, it was eliminated earlier on. Although we do have closer competition in Group 4, definitely our most competitive class here today with Bullseye. Oh my word, Bullseye actually taking 5 seconds a lap out of Trojan at this point in time. Still got a couple of laps to gain, but yeah, big jump from the Bullseye car after their issues a couple of laps ago. And fourth in the Tourist Trophy so far are Pain in the Grass, who I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. Although they are slightly further back after problems of their own. We saw them actually tumbling over into turn 7 a couple of laps ago. Luckily appear to have got away without too much damage from that. And that there that I just saw going past me was the Night Riders putting a lap on. Was it Ratty's Races? Yes, it was. Okay, I thought it was one of the BBMF lawnmowers, but still another lap gained there for the Night Riders, still convincingly leading Group 2. Out of the pits comes the number 11. That will be Team Ali, the French team. They've been doing a good job running in 10th position overall. Relatively quiet race that they've run so far, but that is always a good thing, especially in the BLMRA 12 hours, because if you hear a lot about a vehicle, that usually means that they're having all sorts of issues. But anyway, Team Ally haven't really mentioned that much. That's probably for the better. They've just dropped to 11th position actually with that pit stop. Grass Bandits are up into 10th overall. And Team Ally about to cross the lane again to complete another lap. Meanwhile, Screw Loose has got past Bullseye, and that will be because of a pit stop from Bullseye, I think. So I was wrong when I said that I expected Screw Loose to pit before Bullseye. And that is a change for 4th position in the overall order, although I'm not expecting it to last that long. Screw Loose have gone quite a long way on this stint, actually, and will probably be pitting very shortly. We have got a lawnmower being lifted back into the awning there, and that's the number 8, and that's Herbert and Sons Racing. Scott Herbert, Carl Herbert, and Neil Herbert. The dad is Carl. Scott and Neil are the sons. And every time I look at that name, I always have an urge to sing Herbert and Sons, as in Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. But anyway, that lawnmower having issues at this point in time. It's amazing how 2 people can just lift them up and hoist them into the garage, though. I was saying to Jake earlier when I spotted a vehicle being worked on upside down in the pits. I said, can you imagine like going to a GT3 race or something, and the mechanics just, I don't know, flipping a car over in the pits so they can work on it? It just doesn't happen. You only see that in lawnmower racing. Same as you pretty much only see mechanics lifting the car up and moving it back like that in racing like this. Of course, in higher forms of motorsports, you get jacks and trolleys as well. But of course, you don't need any of those with these vehicles because they're just so light. Well, most of them are. I remember last year I went down to the Swede Bashers garage, and the Swede Bashers said, "Hey, try to lift the front end of our vehicle," and yeah, it just wouldn't budge. Very heavy vehicle. That was a year ago. Meanwhile, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about Bullseye because they have actually dropped down to 7th position for the first time in a while. So Bullseye haven't come through. And right as I thought they were launching their attack again, they are dropping down the order. That is a big shame. Same with Grass Bandits, actually. But yeah, Bullseye Racing, who briefly led the race earlier on, having issues. And Horseplay losing a place on that last lap as well to Dead Bull. So the Bull overtakes the Horse. And goes up into 16th overall. And Really anxious though. I want to see the bullseye car come past, the bullseye lawnmower. We're looking for number 9, and unfortunately their pit garage is quite a long distance from where I am, so if there is a lawnmower in there, it's going to be fairly difficult for me to see. And they are in there. They are in the awning. Meanwhile, we have passed the halfway point in the race. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. So, 6 hours in, 6 hours to go. And Grass Bandits are also in the awning. So, problems for both Bullseye and Grass Bandits at this point in time. And they were running well, Bullseye was 4th, so they're 4th and 12th in the overall order. However, the average Joes are back on track. They've lost quite a few laps to Toro Muerto, but at least they're running. And I should welcome back Jake Sanson. So, Jake, more problems for the Bullseye?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. I may have to go and do my latest run around the pit lane.
No, my turn next. My turn.
To be fair, it is your turn. It is your turn, actually, for the second half.
You can both go.
We could both. Have you both got headsets?
Very true.
Excellent. Oh, in which case we'll both go down. Northerners Kit Grass still leading the way from Best Western and Trojan. The gap is 8 laps from Northerners Kit Grass to Best Western.
And we're on lap 200.
And we are on lap 200. So, yeah, at the halfway stage, if they keep on going the way they are, this distance record is going to be absolutely destroyed. I think they're going to complete potentially anywhere between 370 and 380 laps, even if they have a problem.
Oh, talking of problems, R&M has passed Screw Loose, and actually Screw Loose was long due a pit stop. So I think they've just been in there from 4th position, but they've also dropped now behind Get Set Moo, who are up into 5th position overall, and that's further down than I expected them to drop. So we'll keep an eye out for the 26. But I think that's the first time they've been behind Get Set Moo in quite a few hours.
So some really exciting battles. We're just getting a second headset together for my esteemed colleague Caitlin. We'll decide which end of the pit lane she'll go, and then I'll go in a different direction. How have you been, Mark? We haven't really heard from you in a while. Obviously been disappearing and getting some rest and some shut-eye and doing different bits and pieces around. But as you may have gathered, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're listening via 87.7 FM trackside or whether you are listening from Downforce Radio worldwide, we are into the second half of the BLMRA 12 hours, which of course continues to provide us plenty of entertainment and good action. But of course the big drama came in the 4th hour as the Les Lux Pussies, last year's champions, struck fire in the 4th hour and have caused a major upset by dropping all the way down the field. However, Bullseye Racing, who were second, are now in the pit. So let's go wandering. Let's try and figure out where the catastrophes are, where the situation is starting to adhere to. And welcome to the pit lane. This is going to be an interesting one. So we'll go straight across. No waiting around.
Just testing. Mark and Jake, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely A-okay.
That is good to hear. If it's okay, I'd like to talk to the Bullseye guys, so I think I'm going to head up, and if you head down as well, that would be ideal.
Okay, so you go that way, I'll go this way, and we'll see you in the middle at some point.
Thank you very much, Jake.
No worries at all. Right, so you crack on first.
Sorry, Jake. So I'm here with the Toro Muerto guys. Toro Muerto, you're currently leading Tourist Trophy, Tourist Class, sorry. Your nearest rivals just had a couple of issues. Bit of a breathing margin right now, right?
That's it. I think they had a 10-minute breakdown, so we've got about 5 laps on them, so yeah, happy days.
And you say you're the Dead Bull Young Driver program as well. Are you expecting to take over the Dead Bull car next year?
Well, I think the way they're performing today, that they have to watch the backs, won't they? Because quite clearly they're not up to it in this race, are they?
100%, yeah, and a win in the Tourist class would absolutely cement that. So, yeah, good luck and a fantastic drive so far.
So down at my end of the pit lane, we've got one mower sat here doing very little, and that is 60 plus. That's not a news flash, it's just a state of affairs, because obviously they're having their cup of tea before heading back out on the circuit again. Gotta love this particular crew. So I'll make my way down to, Red Rooster Racing, where is that the mower in there? No, it isn't. No, they're just ticking over. The cameras are having a nice breather. So far so good up at the top end of the pit lane. I'm just watching a few mowers make their way through the first corner and charging their way through. So I'll watch that. You guys crack on at the top end as the 25 Grass Bandits make their way back on track after a pit stop.
Jolly good. Excuse me. I'm here with the Noodle Star Garage, and I'm just wondering, where did you get your name from? Do you just love noodles? Okay, never mind. I'll ignore... Okay, never mind. I'm here with the Northerners Kick Grass team. Sorry about that. Northerners Kick Grass. Sorry, okay. They are asleep, I think. Oh no, I am being ushered in, I think. Alright, jolly good. I go one way and they point me the other, and then I go the other way and they point me back again. That's a little bit weird. Sorry about that. I think I'll move on. My apologies.
Well, up at the top end of the pit lane, there's no major catastrophes, although I've got a driver running towards me with goggles in hand, and that's because we very nearly had a run-over situation. Get Set Mo are having a regular scheduled pit stop, fuel going in the tank, and drivers changing over. So Get Set Mo are just having a scheduled pit stop at the moment. It doesn't look like there's anything untoward really to be concerned with. It's all running according to plan. The fuel is going in. They obviously have to make sure that they don't overfill the tank. But obviously it's very important to make sure that all the safety is adhered to.
Okay, Mark, if you could turn my setup a little bit, please. I can barely hear you, so that would be very much appreciated. However, I'm by the RK Case Racing garage. This is the team, of course, that went back to their yard, if I remember correctly, to get new parts for the lawnmower. They are just trying to start up the engine now. They're pulling the string. It seems to rattle for a bit and then cut out, and it keeps doing that, but it looks as if they're very, very close to getting it launched up. Come on, guys, put some welly into it. That looks as if it's going to get going any second now. Okay, never mind, they're going back to the front and doing some more tinkering. So not quite ready yet, but very, very close for the RK Case Racing team.
They're going to be in a race with EJH Racing to get out on circuit again, because they're having problems as well still with the front end of their mower. So difficulties for both crews.
Caitlin, it's Mark here. If you remove the radio from your pocket, there is on the side, there is a little thumb wheel that adjusts the volume, and that will turn your volume up. So that's why I was asking about it. So move it, turn the dial till it's louder or whatever you need. I thought you might need a bit more in the pits. It is noisy enough in the town.
So that's turn volume up on the power pack.
Yeah, little FM radio in your pocket.
Excuse me, guys. I have the Bullseye Racing team. So, there was a brief issue a couple of minutes ago. Is everything okay now?
It's the second time the front wheel hub bearings have decided to disintegrate. So we've got one more spare, and then we're screwed. So hopefully it doesn't go again.
One spare wheel hub bearing.
One more spare wheel hub bearing. So yeah, that's the third one now we've melted. So something's obviously not quite right there. But you know, it's first time here, first time doing this event, and you know, it's all a learning curve. So we'll bring 6 sets next time.
Do you reckon you'll make it last 6 hours?
I'm surprised we've made it last the first 6 hours. So who knows? You know, we'll limp round. We'll push it if we have to, but we'll be here till closing. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay, best of luck. Good to hear some feedback there actually, because that means you're listening to us on Radio The Moose. That's good.
Problems for McLaren. They really are struggling to get the mower going again, having pushed it pretty much the entire length of the pit lane to get it started again. Have McLaren got it up to speed again, or are they still trying to push it back on track? I think they are actually struggling to get any power at all into the McLaren. Oh dear, Northerners kick grass. Just charging their way through as into the pits comes the 43. So problems there for the 43 of Mofia. So they are out of the race for the moment at least, as they bring their mower back into the awning and try to see whatever teething problems it is that can be repaired. Great battle going on down the main straight. That's Gash It and Bash It wheel to wheel with the 5 of Dynamo, and they very nearly, of course, were battling for the race lead earlier on. So a bit of a turn of events up the books for Dynamo, but they still have a chance to climb back, especially if the mowers around them start to have mechanical problems. And speaking of mechanical problems, we're on the hunt for them down here in pit road.
Yes, and also speaking of mechanical problems, I've got 2 right in front of me. The 97 Mufu has just gone back into the garage, and they're fiddling around with the front of the bonnet. Oh, the bonnet's coming off. That's the problem. It looks as if one side of the bonnet is coming up, and I think they're trying to find something to screw it back down again with. I think they found a little nut there. Also, the number 3 was being propped up on its side, and I think they were tinkering with the belt. So that's the Jurassic something or other team, and that is still being worked on in the pits as well.
So Mofia is in pit lane in their awning right in front of me as they try to get themselves back into position again, of course. 10 minutes past 2, and the Mofia crew, it seems to be a left rear issue. What's happened with the Mofia?
I don't know, I have no idea.
Alright, it's literally just a window short. Alright, so you literally just got a nudge going, come on, all hands to it.
Eh?
Or just a nudge and all hands to it, essentially.
Yeah, all hands to it, yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay, well we'll come back to you when things are a bit more explained. But it's definitely left rear in nature. As into the pits comes the Morons Motorsport team. This one looks scheduled, to be fair, as they are just sorting out the fuel and passing over the mower, a change of driver, and it should be fairly straightforward. But you can tell that now that we're in the second half, the stress levels appear to be rising. Everybody's a little bit nervous now, and we're on tenterhooks as to how things are going to continue. Further up the pit lane is the 26. So obviously the Oh Dear John Deere of the Screw Loose Racing team, they're in the pits now having something worked on. I'm not sure if that's scheduled. I don't think it is. I think they're working quite hard on the right side of the mower. Going Commando is being repaired as well, so hopefully the Going Commando team are going to get it going. Oh, sparks flying for Screw Loose Racing, as they're basically sanding something down by the look of it, using the orbital sander, and they're trying to get the particular part into position on the mower. I think it's one of the bolts of the wheel actually to tighten it up, so something's not quite well there with one of the wheels. Going Commando just in front of me as they get themselves ready for the off as well, and obviously been a very physical race for Going Commando so far. Not everything has been going quite according to plan, but now the mower is going to get back out onto the circuit, hopefully in relative comfort, but it's always going to be very tricky for the competitors who are struggling mechanically, and Going Commando have been doing so pretty much since the dawn of the race. Been struggling, but they get back into the action.
So I'm still just watching the Mufu guys. They appear to be having a lot of problems trying to reattach the front of the bonnet there. Looks like very fiddly work at the front, and they've got 3 people crowding around it at the minute, so that's a bigger problem than it first looked, I think. Also, the 13 is in the pits a little bit further up, but it seems to be relatively quiet up this side of the pit lane. There's pretty much no one about, actually. I've seen a couple of people sleeping at the back of garages, and the odd person just walking around to watch their cars out front. But really, it's only about one person per garage up here. Very quiet.
This is where it helps to be quite close to the blower in case somebody decides that they need to call somebody in pretty quickly. And you need to know that you don't sleep too heavy as well, because the tricky thing about the nature of this part of the race is that everybody's trying to get a couple of hours of doze in ready for the finish, but this could be the time when disaster strikes, and you've got to be alert, you've got to be ready for it. Horseplay currently under some work in the pits. That's about it from this end. So looking to my left again and looking down the pit lane, there's only maybe 2 mowers being worked on. So we're just settling into a nice cruise control rhythm at the moment. And so far, no major difficulties up at the sharp end. It is as expected, Northerners kick grass, trying to extend a lead. Second place may not necessarily be particularly shocking, but there's still plenty of races. There's still plenty of battles out there still to come, with just under half the race distance still remaining. Can anybody catch up with the number 12 of Northerners kick grass? Well, going past my position now, the Les Lux Pussies are desperately trying to fight their way forward. They are desperately trying to gain back the ground they've lost. We've got to remember they lost 27 laps in that misdemeanor. So it's looking very, very tenuous at the moment in their current position.
The Arcade Case Racing vehicle, it looked earlier as if they were going to boot it up and send it out, but unfortunately the rider has now got off it again, and there's much slower work going on to the front, so something is still awry with this vehicle, and it doesn't look as if it's going anywhere anytime soon. However, the 13 has been sent back out and on its way again. That was the horseplay car. Sorry, Jake.
So looking up and down the pit lane, no major changes other than Mo Fear being wheeled back out, and the 26 of the machine there that was battling up in the top 10 that we mentioned before, the Screw Loose Racing team, are trying to fix whatever issue it is over at the front right of the mower, they continue to try and edge their way through.
It's very much the same with Crosscutter as well. The number 30 has "Oh dear" written on the mud flaps, and "Oh dear" indeed, still in the pit lane, being worked on by a singular mechanic at the minute. And most of the work there going on to the front, which of course is where all the important stuff is.
Well, this is a very tricky phase of the race in the race in general, because now the circuit is at its fastest. Drivers are going to get pretty tight from this point on. The strategy doesn't quite tally necessarily with what we've had in the past because of the circuit being a different nature. We know how fast the circuit is at the moment, so if the Northerners kick grass continue on their current pace, they are going to absolutely romp to the victory and cover more distance than anyone else. But there's still time for things to turn around. You know, the race is still going to evolve in this second half.
Hello, Jake. I think we've just run into each other.
Yes, indeed. So now we are basically at the middle part of the pit lane under the tower, where in a few hours' time we'll be crowning some champions with some trophies on the top step of the podium. It's not going to be easy from this point on, but certainly the number 12 passing our position. Northerners kick grass, trying to just continue that bedding in position as they just continue their rhythm. But a second place that's looking really intriguing at the moment. The 28th Best Western is there in place, but there is still a heck of a long way to go. And as we saw from last year, it can change any time. To the pits. Who is that? That is the Heck Garden team, I think. The 29 for the Belgian. No, sorry, that is Team Ali, the 11. But still, the battle rages on down here on the pit straight. As the drivers are trying to pick their way through. Now the radar system in front of us is showing top speeds again, and we can really see just how fast these mowers are pushing it. 42, 43 miles an hour. So the drivers really are giving absolutely everything down the main straight. 42 miles an hour, 43. You could probably go a bit faster than that if the gearing wasn't quite so tailored to get the mowers round all these tight, challenging corners. But,
I want to wait for one of the quicker tourist vehicles to go past, or probably the number 12 as well, because they often go well past 40 miles per hour. There goes the 97. That's not. Oh wow, 44 for the 97. And also another tourist vehicle just did 45. That's pretty impressive there. 36 on a cricket mower and a Group 2. Not too shabby indeed. It's amazing the speed these get up to. There goes the number 12. Only 41 for the number 12 as well. Are you okay, Jake? You look shattered.
I am. Do you know what? It's actually starting to hit me. It's that second phase of the race when the tiredness really starts to steamroller you, and that's the bit. I mean, I'm only speaking from a broadcaster's point of view, but once you get into that second phase of the race, it really starts to hit you, and it's just like a steamroller. It really washes over you. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like for the competitors out there.
Weirdly, I think I've given my tiredness to you, because I was feeling pretty shattered at the start.
And now you've picked up.
And now I feel fine.
Now you've perked up. There you go. You see, we've done it in reverse.
Yeah, if we keep taking shifts like this, it'll be perfect. We can make it to the end easy peasy.
Excellent. This is all about now who fails first, which team is likely to falter next, because we've had so many dynamic battles over the course of the last few hours. But we were speaking to Northerners Kick Grass earlier. They genuinely didn't think they had the pace over one lap to be stronger than the Les Brussels team. So there is a good chance that if they're just nice and comfortable now, if they just take it easy, they won't have the stress to worry about. They won't have the stress to worry about where they're going to make the gains, because it will just naturally happen over the course of the next couple of hours. It's tough to place the mowers at this point, but you can see coming out here, Caitlin on the main straight, you can see the racing line. That tarmac, I say the tarmac, sorry, the ground, the hard ground.
It's the line where the grass isn't.
Exactly,
yes.
Yeah, they haven't cut up the grass, of course, but they've run the reels over so often that now there is just that ribbon of soft mud. Now, the thing about that as well is that you have to stay fairly close to that soft mud, because that is now going to set you up for a nice run into the next left-hander, which is where you need to start planting the brake, ready for the tight right hairpin after that. And it's a very uneven run to that first corner. That is where things are going to go very, very tight under braking zone to get you round the next right-hander.
And it's going to be so bumpy offline as well.
It really
you can
is.
See just how it's almost like ripple effects off the line and in the grass. And yeah, you do not want to be running over that too often. Sometimes you have to when you're making an overtake or something, but you still want to stick as close to the racing line as you possibly can, because off that it is so bumpy, and you often see the vehicles misjudging the entry to the pits because they have to get off the line and they have to get over the bumps, and it just really hits them.
It's really enthralling watching these competitors come out of turn 6 and down the main straight, as Dash It and Bash It are trying every trick in the book to make up the time they lost with their earlier problems. Similar story for everybody, basically from second downwards. But yet again, Northerners Kick Grass are proving that once they have the pace, they are just metronomic in their consistency. How they're able to run so solidly at the front of the field every year with that much speed and that much determination, and the mower working so well, it baffles me. It really, really does. I'm not entirely sure how it is that the competitors continue to make such incredible pushes forward.
You can pick out any one of these lawnmowers and say so much about them because this race has just had so much to offer so far. There's been stories up and down the field. In fact, let me try that. Next lawnmower through, I'm going to talk about them and tell you as much about the race as I possibly can. And it's the number 29, that the team Heckgun. They had an issue earlier on. What did we say it was? I think it was. Did they have a throttle cable snap or something?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, something along those lines. They are, of course, a team from Germany or Belgium, right?
Heckgarden is definitely the Belgian squad.
Belgian squad. Okay, so they're from Belgium. Their pit garage is just a few doors up from us, and I think there's something like 35th place at the minute, or around about that area. Yeah, honestly, each of these individual lawnmowers and teams has their own story, and they're just going to keep adding to that as the day progresses.
So now the big question going into the second half of the race is which of the big teams are going to hit trouble first, because the circuit is faster than it's ever been, the mowers are faster than they've ever been as they start to bite more into the circuit, and when we get to dawn, who's still going to have the strength and which mowers are still going to have the character to keep pushing towards that front end. I think flexibility has already been a bit of a premium in terms of strategy for races, because the circuit has caught out a few drivers in terms of how much fuel is currently burnt and whether or will it will not rain. So there's always that potential to see how tricky it's going to change over the course of even 60 to 90 seconds. It can change pretty quickly. The one comfort we've got is that there's no rain going to fall. If we look at that sky, there is not going to be rain interfering with the race. So it all comes down to essentially which drivers can take full advantage of having just that little bit of an extra edge.
Well, as for the question you asked, which of these teams is going to walk first? Well, we've already seen that, haven't we? It was the Leslux catching fire earlier on. Definitely the first out of the top teams. Dropped a long way down the order. We also had other issues at the front for the what do they call Bullseye? Yeah, Bullseye lost a couple of significant positions due to issues, as did Gashard and Bashard earlier on. They were in contention possibly to win this race and dropped back quite a bit in all of that as well. So at the minute, the main contenders, Northerners Kick Grass leading by 8 laps, along with I think it's Trojan, the Best Western, and also still the Bullseye. I'd say the Bullseye still stands a good chance, so long as not more happens to them. Meanwhile, I think that was Toro Muerto being getting the signal to box next lap.
Okay, so that sounds like we're going to have a very interesting couple of laps up towards the sharp end as the drivers continue to fight for a little bit of extra gain. Mark Akeroyd has returned to the commentary box, so no doubt he'll be in a position to give us potentially some extra info and extra insight into what is currently happening and where we are currently with things.
61 making a pit stop. That's the leader in Group 2.
And so too is the overall leader.
The Night Riders. And also, what did you say there, Jake, sorry?
The overall leaders have done so too. The Northerners Kick Grass have just had a pit stop.
Oh, have they? Okay, jolly good. Also in the 26, and they're looking at it, and it looks as if they're about to lift it up potentially. Yeah, some slight issues, and they're actually changing the rear right wheel, I think. Definitely some work going on down on that corner of the vehicle.
Into the pits comes the 11, that is Team Ali from Belgium. And we're about to get a pit stop for Toro Muerto right in front of us. So it's going to be a really exciting tussle. It's going to happen right in front, so let's have a listen in and see how the Toro Muerto pit stop crew take these pit stops and how it all goes together.
Well, 26, Jake, is Screw Loose, one of the main contenders in this race. and they are in the pits, and there was actually some work going on the rear right wheel, so I wondered, ironically, whether there was a screw loose. But whatever the case, they're in the pits at the minute, and it doesn't appear to be that was the problem. It seems, okay, they've got the zip ties out, and I think they're trying to reconnect the rear right bodywork, so something's gone amiss there, and they're kind of stapling it all together again. The Toro Muerto did indeed come in, and you've got that up there, Jake. That's the tourist leader.
So yes, Toro Muerto pulled in right in front of me, and they're just having a stereotypical scheduled pit stop. No major problems or concerns. They don't even need to push too hard here. They just need to keep things nice and solid and consistent. Unfortunately, it's not quite the same case for the number 11, I should say, Team Ali. Les Octopussies are pretty much just taking the advantage to get some shut-eye as they try and make their way back from 27 laps down the order. And now the teams are really starting to settle in for a nice evening doze. Late night doze, I should say. Anyone in for midnight snacking? It's going to be very, very tricky to stay awake through all of it. I'm already struggling.
You've had your pills, haven't you?
I have had some pills, but it's whether or not they work or not.
Just more pills in? No.
Pro Plus, there's only a certain amount you can take in one time, isn't it?
Toro Muerto were 5th, they've dropped to 6th now because of the pit stop. You talked about Team Ali, they're 12th at the moment. Best Western, as they are 8 laps behind the Northerners now.
The Battle of Britain Memorial Flight red section about to come into the pits. In fact, they're doing so now as they pull in. Yellow section is behind them.
Parking directly behind the yellow section, I believe, and those two are still second and third in the Group 2 category. I think they've got a couple of laps between them and also a couple of laps to the class leader, but still those two doing very, very well and making scheduled pit stops as we watch.
Yeah, red section is 33rd overall, 18 laps behind number 29, which is the Night Riders, so there might only be sort of four places in it, but they're actually 18 laps behind. And yellow section is, which is 39. 39th place is actually 21 laps. So again, a lot to make up apart from breakages. Interesting, I just noticed that the Group 2s are lapping 2 minutes 20-ish. 2 minutes 5, whereas the Group 4s are lapping 1:45, and the Group 3s about 1:51. So it shows you the difference between the lap time for the 3 classes. Good tourist class lapping in. Well, last lap for Toro Muerto was 1:48, so better than the Group 4s.
Screw Loose are back in again. So Screw Loose, who almost took me down there, who pitted just 2 laps ago, I think, for a lengthy pit stop with a little bit of repair work, are back in again. Something has not worked. And where are they marked? They're something like 4th or 5th in the overall order. Not anymore.
Screw Loose are actually 13th in the group.
Okay, well they were 4th or 5th earlier. So obviously they lost several positions with their lengthy pit stop just now, and they're going to lose even more as it stands. So yeah, Screw Loose gradually dropping down the order, and it seems that the screws come loose on their challenge today.
Cross-cutters are currently in the pits with the mower on the jacks in their awning. So things are starting to take a bit of a toll. Arcade Case Racing are back in, having fixed the problem initially. It doesn't look like that's the case anymore.
You really have to be on your feet in these pits. Sometimes the mowers just duck in quicker than you can think. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you've literally got to be lightning on your tippy toes, running around to get yourself into a decent spot.
100%, yeah.
I don't know, Jake, if you ever were in the pits at Le Mans. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I did in 2016. It can be pretty scary.
Oh, that's really scary.
Well, that was the year as well,
annoyingly. You hear the whistle, You hear the whistle, you hear the horn, and the next minute you've got a car up your backside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people pushing you everywhere.
It was quite funny actually in that 2016 race during the Michelin Cup race, which was the race, it's the sports car race, which is for the prototypes, which lasts only an hour. Just before it, the Road to Le Mans, it's called, that particular sports car race.
Yeah, I know the race.
It was quite funny because when I started in the industry in 2012, I happened to meet a female racing driver who's also a television presenter called Rebecca Jackson, and she was racing in the prototypes that year in the Road to Le Mans, and I only just kind of twigged when she came into the pits at the end of the race. She pulled into the pits, I was there, and she looked out of the window straight at me, saw me, I saw her, and we did this whole kind of, OMG, what the hell are you doing here? What are you doing here? While she was in her race car, and we were both kind of screaming in surprise at each other. It's this mad, surreal moment in the Le Mans 24 Hours pit lane. Very, very strange.
And she was actually driving the car, so she really should have been concentrating.
I think the race had ended at that point, so they all came into the pits. And the race had ended, they were just waiting to go back to the outer paddock.
All right, well, yes, OMG. It's amazing where you meet people.
It's amazing what sort of a difference an hour or two makes. There were some really beaming smiles at the second placed Bullseye Racing team at one stage, because they were just unable to believe their fortune being in second position, and since then things have actually got very tricky for them because they've lost ground, they've lost time, they've lost positions, so it's ended up being
yes, they're in seventh
pretty
at the
treacherous.
moment. They have just set their personal best lap time now, 1:46.2. So obviously they're ramping it up a bit, or the driver that's on there at the moment, whoever it might be, must be laying down some pretty good laps. Been able to chat with a few marshals who've been out there doing the marshalling, and they've been saying that it's been quite certainly down the bottom hill down there with the big curve, very fast. And yeah, they've been watching some very good racing, and they're very pleased with the situation on track. We've had minimal issues because the track is kicking people off the bug or off the mower. The track is not rutted so badly. So where are you now, Jake?
Okay, well, I'm going to butt in very quickly because I'm by Who's Racing and they've just gone back into the garage. So there's another problem for Who's Racing as, the 30 is back out on the track. That's good to see. But yeah, the number 6, work going on to the right-hand side. They appear to be unscrewing something. And that's going on just in front of and down by the side of the seat. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but
well, the battery is located at that side in front of the seat. So
the battery. Okay, so it's a battery issue,
well,
maybe.
The thing is that I understand. I've been talking to a few other people too, actually, that because of the big fire and the fact that it's fried the main.
You're right.
Main cable from the battery to the starter motor. Then there's also it fried the regulator, which then spiked the lights, which then burnt out another bit of the loom. So as Dan said to me earlier on, it's been a very electric weekend for him because basically all the electric's just gone up the fire. So what they're doing at the moment, they're running the actual mower with the battery and no charging. So it's literally running the battery down as they go round. So I think they're probably changing the battery over. I mean, effectively, yes, the race is done for them. They, the two problems they had killed them basically again. They're talking about putting the regulator possibly back on again in the daylight when they don't need lights, but at the moment they don't want to lose their lights again. They don't want to spike to actually blow the lights. But you can certainly ask them too. You can probably go in and ask them what the situation is and what they've just done as they go out. Always good for a chat after they've done what they need to do.
Very true. I just don't want to disturb them because they seem quite busy at the minute.
Oh, no. We'll let them get on and fix the mower, and then once it goes out, you can go in and say, well,
of course,
what happened? That's a good trick that I've seen pit lane commentators do. No, Jake. So Jake's gone missing. Is Jake around?
No, I am around. Sorry I didn't answer before. I was actually deep in conversation with the Snail Speed team. They ended up having a bit of a moment. They had scheduled their driver to come in at a specific time, and they came in 10 minutes early without warning. So
don't you love them?
Yeah, got caught out a little bit.
No tyres, no jacks, nothing.
Oh, we've got an amazing run down the pit straight. Sorry, Bullseye Racing going wheel to wheel with Best Western, and they actually touch wheels at 40 miles an hour. So that could have been incredibly scary, but somehow they just about get away with that. That could have been seriously problematic.
Now, we also have one being pushed into the pits from the very end of the pits. Not sure if you can see who that is, Mark, but yeah, it's right at the end of the pits on the other side of the road, just being pushed across. Someone definitely had an issue there.
Oh, coming in from the far from my side?
Well, yeah, from the bottom of the hill, yeah.
Bottom of the hill, oh, coming up from there. So the bottom of the hill, I see the mower being pushed up, yes. Can't see who it is, but we'll soon find out. It's probably, I think it's a group 4. So it could be anyone, I suppose, but you're not supposed to go up the pits the wrong way, but there we go.
We've seen a couple of people doing it so far today. They're about to pass me, and it's the 96.
Ah, that's the one that's next door to Les Lux, I think. Yes. No, it's not. 96.
Who is it, sorry?
I'm just going to say 96 is. I thought 96 was...
Oh, wait, they're Gasha and Basha, aren't they? Third in tourist class.
Yes, 21st place.
Ah, more problems for them. Bother.
There's currently 14 laps behind Toro Musso. But yes, looks like those 14 are going to increase. As they're going to push it all the way up there.
Yeah. Hill. Gashit and Bashir have just overtaken me in the pit lane going up the top. So the one-time leaders definitely in dire straits now.
Oh, and right as it went past the number 9, that would be the Bullseye car, all of the lights went off. So
that's not good.
That's really not good.
That's an issue.
No, yes. They will be pulled over if there's no lights.
Well, that can end up being a really hazardous situation, not just for them, but for the other mowers out there on the circuit. So
they will be pulled over and red flagged if they don't get themselves back into the actual...
Indeed.
Into the pits. I can't see them. Or I can't see it.
I wonder why you can't see them. Yeah, they've just gone past the other way and they still haven't got any lights on, so everything's gone off.
Oh, yes, I can see it now. Yes. What I say, they better be getting the pits pretty soon. They're still going to be, they're just overtaking too, actually. Just overtaking a mower on the backside there.
But yeah, well, they'll be coming in at the end of this lap, I expect.
They've got to be in. Number 9, yes.
That's a bit of a problem, and that will be something to do with the battery, I expect.
Again, yes.
Also, is that the... Oh, that's the Les Lux car into the pits as well. Just a couple of meters away from me. And there's work going on to that as well.
The Bullseye Racing in 7th place, 2 laps. Total, 2-2-1-5. So they're 11 laps behind the leaders. I suspect they should be coming round very soon. There's something coming down the pit straight, no lights I can see. Yep, they're just putting in now.
Into the pits comes the number 3. And into the pits with no lights comes the number 9. So that's right in front of me that mower has pulled off, and they've realised that now, so they're going to have to take the bonnet off the mower to go and have a look in and figure out what the situation is with those lights, because obviously they cannot operate if the lights are not working. So a big difficulty for the boys, but they have got straight on with it. It's really cool to see actually that all 3 of them are still upright, because obviously the temptation would be to have one of the competitors in. Now I think they've already fixed it. Essentially, I think there's something to do with they've switched the light on and switched it off again, and the light is coming on. But once the bonnet is closed, it's not doing it. So I think it's shorting on something. So that's kind of they've basically got to get under there and figure out what it is that it's shorting on. So it's a very tricky situation they now find themselves in. Into the pits we have the number 3 mower having come in. Now there's a bit of an issue with a couple of mowers now battling away down the main straight. Down the pit straight, sorry. But the number 3, out onto the circuit again comes the snail speed. They've been into the pits for a mechanical difficulty, and now they're set to get going again. And they're struggling to start it. Are they going to get it going this time? Putting on the engine, that's more like it. That's sounding healthy, and away goes the snail speed back into the race again. So up at the top end of the pit lane, I think I'm ready to do a full rotation, but the Gash It and Bash It mower is in the pit lane, the number 96, and there's a lot of tricky situations for the drivers. They're actually bolting something in with a steering wheel to try and get things moving again.
Now, with the number 1, what they're doing is they're propping up the rear and spinning the rear axle. So, Ray, what are they going to be doing to that? None of the lights are on, and that's just sitting here in the pit lane with them trying to spin the rear axle. Never mind, we've got a driver putting his helmet on and getting ready to hop on, I expect.
Yeah, that sounds like the clutch is gone. So what they do is they put it on a block, start the engine up, so it obviously idles, and effectively you've got a fixed drive because there's no clutch. And then they put the rider on, they push him off the block, and off you go.
Right. Yeah, but he wasn't sitting on it.
I'm afraid I've got a retirement.
Okay.
Dear.
And it's a bit of a predictable one, unfortunately. It's the number 16. It's the Crash Test Dummies Reborn. They are finally out of the race.
I thought they were out of the race with an engine failure.
No, it wasn't them.
The second engine failure.
That was the SLR Mechanics, I think. They were out of the race.
Sorry, yes.
So now the Crash Test Dummies are out, and it's because they've run out of wheels.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, they've had some shears already.
No wheels on my wagon.
Pretty much, yeah. They had some difficulties, unfortunately, where the wheels came off due to a faulty stub axle or something along the lines of that. And basically the mechanic has just looked at me and said, no, we haven't got any more wheels. So that's it, we're game over.
The field somewhere.
Right, chaps, what kind of a story does this tell? So, the number 1, after spinning its wheels up and, the driver getting ready quite late, it's got underway with a very loud creaking noise as it started, and then the driver started shaking his head on the straight. So, creaky noise, driver shaking head, what's gone wrong?
Which number is that?
Number 1.
Number 1, it's Les Ducks Putties.
Right.
So after rebuilding it, I mean, that's two things really. One, it could be the clutch itself, which is say if they were actually starting it up a block. Sounds like the plates are slipping, which is not a good sign because that means they don't get full drive. Or if there's funny graunchy noise, that means there's something driving it. It could be engine. And that's,
I'm actually standing opposite turn 1 at the moment, up at the top end of the pit lane. So I'm going to keep an eye out for the number 1 as it comes past my position here onto the pit straight. Oh, hang on. That doesn't sound particularly healthy. That might be it now, Northerners Kick Grass come through. There's Horseplay, Dynamo, and a very slow-moving number 62, the Battle of Britain Memorial flight. But I'm trying to look out for the number 1. So where is Les Ducks Pussies, who were the winners last year?
Pit straight first, so there's a bit of a wait, I think, if you're at the top of on turn 1. Because he would have gone down the pit straight, round the complex, and then comes back up the finish straight.
This is a little bit scary. As into the pits comes the 11 of Team Ali, while side by side with them, the Group 3 of the 43. But this is getting pretty spicy into the final hairpin before the pit straight, actually. Best Western is trying to lap traffic. and at the same time it's quick traffic because it's Toro Muerto and Dead Bull racing out on the circuit together. Into the pits comes Les Lux, so you were right, Caitlin, they've got some big problems coming, and that's not good. That's really not good at this stage.
Yep, they're driving straight into the garage. Well, they're not even
They are,
driven in.
yeah. He's done the cutout sign,
finish.
so I think that means they may well be out for the count.
Yeah, I think that is a mission of end of. Can't go any further.
Well, Bullseye Racing is still trying to fix their lighting issue, so they're there in position at the moment. Over at RK Case Racing, they are fixing pretty much everything, trying to send the mower back out. What's the issue, Caitlin?
Okay, so I'm standing with one of the Les Lux mechanics. He says they've blown both engines.
Oh,
both
you're kidding.
engines are gone.
Well, that is game over.
Yeah, it's gone bang, the whole thing's out.
Well...
Oh, wait, it's actually revving. They're revving it. They're revving it some more. It's not going anywhere, but they're revving it.
Well, I think what happens now essentially is, will it misfire? Because if it continues to misfire, there's not really a lot you can do without stressing the engine, especially on the long straights, because you've obviously got to keep it flat to the floor to get up the hill, and that's when you can really start to churn and eat into the engine.
Okay, well, they've sent it back into the garage, so we'll see what comes of that. I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting to see them again, unfortunately.
Yeah, if that's two engines blown, then they're not going to have a third one.
Yeah.
If the engine's gone tight, it's amazing how these little engines, but yes, they can actually go what's called tight, and the heat, the actual moulding, the actual casting changes, and they just don't brakes. They just don't, they just have no power. So they don't go, effectively the engine's blown. It's not maybe a nice pretty picture of a Conrad through the side crankcase chasing inside, but it's still effectively blown. Although they are working on it.
Well, if this really is the end, what a gutting end for last year's champions, the reigning winners, team Les's Lux Pussies. They drove a fantastic race last year to take advantage when the Northerners blew up, and it was looking as if they were going to do something similar this year as well, but unfortunately haven't been able to fight for it. They had a fire earlier on, and now it looks like very much the same thing has happened in a less spectacular and more kind of fizzly way. So unfortunately, the team Les's Lux not able to fight for the victory 2 years running.
Well, RK Case Racing are trying to get themselves back into the race. They're desperately trying to fire up the Rotax in the hope that they can get it back out onto the circuit again. But this is turning into a losing battle pretty quickly unless they can get something out of it. But they have taken it round to the back of the yard, 10 minutes down the road, and it looks as if it may be trying its best to fire. They're just doing everything they can to get that little bit of power out of it. They're shaking their head. It looks as though all that hard work is going to come to naught. So we may have another retirement looming for RK Case Racing if they can't get it started this time, and they've already been in the pits for, what, 4 hours, 5 hours they've been in the pits? So it's pretty much curtains for RK Case Racing. They may be able to get one lap in at the end, but they're going to struggle to make the century of laps at the moment.
We're just almost coming up, 37 to go to the 7th hour of the race elapsed. So they've managed to get more than halfway through, as I remember Caitlin saying halfway through. So yeah, we got to the 7th hour, but no more. So it's currently 2:54 in the morning.
Right, we're coming up to the end of the 7th hour mark. What lap are we on? Because that's going to give us an indication as to whether the record can be broken by Northerners Kick Grass.
Well, we're on lap 228 at the moment, Northerners Kick Grass. So so 7 hours, 228.
They're well on their way to smashing that record.
We've got to break 358.
348 laps they've got to do. The distance they need to cover is 354 miles.
That's it.
So 348 laps is going to basically get that done.
Because it's a longer track, there's less laps required, that's right. So 348, so 120 laps to go, basically.
Well, I think it's doable, because they're not having any major issues.
No, we've done 228 in 7 hours.
I think it's definitely achievable.
Half of that would be 3.5 hours for... Yeah, definitely, we've got 5 hours to go. I really think it's going to be completely broken.
The number 15, the Moorans team, they had issues a while ago. They've been in the pits for something like, I think, about an hour now. And they're just about to go back on track again. They have a rider on board, and they're just filling it up with fuel now and having another one last look to the left-hand side. And the driver's taking his goggles off. Are they not sending that vehicle out, maybe? They're fiddling with the steering wheel. Interesting pattern on the front of that as well. I thought I recognised it earlier as a race circuit, but I don't think it is now. I thought it was the Algarve circuit, but it isn't on second look. Now who's that in the pits?
Going commando, and they've got something falling off the back of the mower.
Right.
So it's another panel that's come loose, and it's now trailing off the back of the mower. Also into the pits has come the 14. So that's two of them in together. That's Dan Godden at the wheel, or at least it was. I'm not sure if he's going to take over again and just carry on his stint, but certainly the 14 is now in the pits. Meanwhile, coming out of the hairpin that leads onto the pit straight, we are getting some amazing runs down the pit straight. You've got to remember, we're approaching the end of the 7th hour, and people are still pushing like it's the first hour. Oh, we've got a problem at the top of the hill. We've got a problem at the top of the hill. Somebody is has broken down. Now, it looks to me like one of the class 4s. It's the 24 in dire straits. So that is, I think, well, who is the 24? Remind me, Mark, but we've definitely got the 24 in trouble coming down the hill.
24 is Noodle Star Racing.
All right, well, that's one of their first major issues.
20th place. So only 96 laps completed.
That's one of the first major issues for the Noodle Star team. They've been solid and consistent, not quite as fast as the other competitors in the mix, but they've been working very hard to get themselves up into that position. And now it's going to cost them dear, whatever it is. That's going to be a big problem to counteract.
Yeah, I think they just come into their pit garage actually. Putting fuel into it. Well, it was next to Northern Kick Grass.
And the 15 is underway. The Moorans back on track. They had to give it a really decent push, very, very long push to get it going. It certainly didn't launch out on its own, but it's underway now, and it's heading around turn 7.
So again, early hours of the morning, well into the race, and the pits is full of action. It's all happening in the pits.
Certainly is. This is when the meat and bones of the race is really digested, because we've got Dead Bull Racing about to come in for a driver change. That'll be Joe Grimer off the mower. And it's going to be a pretty imminent pit stop. So too, it looks as though we might be getting a pit stop for Swing Low Street Chariot. The number 20 coming into the pits. 24 Noodle Star, after its stoppage, has left the pits again. So it looks as though we're going to get a pit stop now from Dead Bull Racing. We may even get one from the 17, the German squad. Looks like they're about to pit in as well. And also the 64, Ratty's Racers. They're going to come in for a pit stop. Here we go, Dead Bull Racing. Oh, massive stab on the brakes to try and get the mower stopped. They've had an incident or two. The mower is absolutely filthy. So I wonder if they were involved in that little moment when Horseplay the second ended up in the hay bales, because it's been an interesting one. But we've also got the Dead Bull pit stop going on. They're filling up with fuel, but from Northerners Kick Grass, one of their men have got the fire extinguisher standing by at the ready. So this is what I love about it. They help each other out. and there's that camaraderie and that team spirit. So Dead Bull Racing is filling up with fuel at the moment. Fuel cap goes on, and they'll just wipe away the excess and obviously get the things racing once again. Joe Grimer, having just done his stint, is probably going to go and have a snooze somewhere. Very hard work indeed, and the racing will continue on. The lights have obviously got to be facing the right way, as Kevin Grimer has to readjust the mower light at the front. And they're trying to get back up to speed again. Oh, something's not right, they're not starting. So the Dead Bull Racing mower needs to get started again. Bit of a hiccup, and they're really struggling off the throttle. This is not good. Dead Bull Racing trying to get themselves back up to speed again. It's not quite working. Now they've done it. Now they've got it. But that's cost them precious seconds. Another 20 or 25 seconds delay.
Dangerous pull out of the actual straight as well. Direct someone.
That was ridiculously close. Let's put it that way. Noodle start back into the race and pushing very hard.
61 also into the pits. Still the Group 2 leader, the Night Riders. And they're quite a distance from me, blocked by the number 18. They're doing something interesting to the 18 now. They had some kind of yellow cable. Whatever the case, they've got the 18 back on the road now, and also being called in on that last run. That last lap was the number 42. So I'm expecting to see the number 42, one of our leading Group 3 runners, ducking into the pits on this lap. Just waiting for that to come through, but yeah, that's going to be making a quick pit stop, and I think that's the vehicle in second in Group 3.
Have a quick look. 3, we've got.
Oh, goodness me! Horseplay just came out of the pits, almost completely directly into the path of EJH, and at the top of the hill there's problems for Mowing Nowhere Fast. They pulled their mower into the pits as well. Some mechanical problems for them.
As Caitlin said, mower in attitude MWA. Number 42 is 13th, but second in group. So yeah, 12 laps behind R&M.
There's still some major moments in this race. Now, pulling off to the side, have we got the German team coming in for a pit stop? Yes, indeed. So the German squad comes in for a pit stop, and that is the Razi Cross team behind.
Yeah, I actually saw him run across onto the actual finishing straight with a torch to show him a board to say come in, because obviously he didn't pick it up when they showed it to him on the pit side. Oh, there we go.
And the thing as well is that they obviously needed to bring him in pretty quickly, because the last thing you want to do is run out of fuel.
Yes. Well, I mean, that last one that you said was you thought Noodle Star Racing? Nothing was done, they just filled it with a fuel, but obviously they ran out.
I think that's what it is. A lot of teams are getting the fuel strategy wrong here, because the circuit in its nature being quite fast and being quite bumpy, and drivers pushing quite hard to try and gain some time. They're actually churning a lot of fuel and eating and consuming more of it in the mower than originally first thought they would need to.
Indeed, that's right. They're trying to eke it out from their tank and realising that it's just not quite doing a complete number of laps worth to come in. They really should be counting them and coming in one lap earlier.
So I think I'm going to head back across when I can, because I feel like I have tweaked something in my back and I really need to sit down. Yeah.
Good effort, Caitlin.
This was great fun, and I'm still by the 92, Pain in the Grass Racing, who are making another pit stop as well. This is the team which is a father, his son, and his friend's son. Partly, of course, last year the Imber Greeners. They had two vehicles last year, Pain in the Grass and the Imber Greeners, and that looks like one of the younger ones getting in now, and about to head on his way in the 92, and that one is currently 4th in class in the tourist class.
Indeed, that's
and
right.
could well challenge further on in the race.
Well, I'm going to head back up to the top of the pits to try and figure out what the issue is with the Mowing Nowhere Fast mode. Goodness me, that sounded loud.
That was the 92. That was the one right in front of me, and it was extremely loud. It was shaking the ground.
Right,
and to be honest, I had no idea that it was that vehicle. It sounded too loud to be it.
You can always catch you out, these mowers. Right, over at Arcade Case Racing, there does not appear to be a lot of activity. I'm going to wander over and see if it's dead in the water. Gentlemen, an admirable effort, but are we pausing for the last time?
Yeah.
So I think we might be dead and buried, potentially.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing left in terms of the energy levels, is there now?
Nah.
Fair enough. Okay. Seems very simple. Okay. RK Case Racing, the end of their tether. Reduced to one-word answers. And I'm afraid the 67 is now out. That's the confirmation. Another retirement. RK Case Racing have tried their best. They took it to their yard 10 minutes down the road. And now it's game over. What a shame. Another retirement.
Yes, that's unfortunate, but can totally understand. You're that completely tied out. Then, just marking up the form. I don't know. Do you want to come back in, Jake, for something to eat?
For the moment, I'm okay. I'm just a little puzzled because I'm at Best Western, and the 96 is in their bay. Gash it and mash it, which I know their awning is next door.
Yes.
But they brought it into the Best Western pit crew. This is a bit like Haas saying to Toro Rosso, well, why don't you come and use our garage? Why not?
Well, it's exactly what we do, because that's what lawn racing all about.
Now that I know what the reason for this major problem for the Gash It and Bash It is. It's an engine change. Because they have well and truly blown their top with the first Lonsin, and I can see the remnants of it off to the right-hand side, so they're just fitting the new engine. So that's the reason for Gash It and Bash It's latest misdemeanour. A blown engine. What a shame.
Yeah, they do look lovely, those engines, when they're blown, aren't they?
They really do. Meanwhile, a few awnings up the road. More difficulties for mowing nowhere fast, and it's focused underneath the mower. What are our difficulties on this particular occasion?
Got some belt issues, slipping and popping off. So just redoing the pulleys, and then hopefully that'll fix it.
So it's one of those 10-minute jobs that's just hemorrhaging positions and hemorrhaging laps.
Yeah, second time we've had to pull in to do this, but hopefully the last.
Okay. Fortunate. Now there's a mower that's been abandoned at the top of the course, right in front of me, and it's the 18. The 18 has been abandoned up at the top end of the field. Now the mower's still got its lights on. Which one is the 18, Mark? Remind me. Which mower is that that's been abandoned at the top of the straight? Into the hairpin. I'm trying to remember which one is the 18. I can't remember. Mowing nowhere faster than number 19 is into the pits. I wonder, has Mr. Akeroyd wandered off?
No, sorry, I was just talking to Caitlin.
Oh, I see.
I was offering her some food, but she refused, apparently. So I had something already.
I brought some of my own, and...
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, I brought some of my own, and I'm full. Thanks. But
so
that's very nice of you anyway.
The 18 is which one?
Number 18. Number 18 is McLaren.
Right. And it's the same problem. It looks as though
blown
they've...
engine.
Got... they're changing battery. The same problem that they had earlier is that the pull cord had basically snapped. It had snapped twice, and now it looks as though they've got a similar problem developing.
So guys, when did R&M Racing, the Group 3 leader, get up into 3rd place overall? My goodness.
That's got to have been very recent. Yeah, that is a bit of a shock. Well, excellent news though. When was the last time a Group 3 was in the top 3 overall?
Yes, on the podium in effect.
Yeah. So that's got to be a good few seasons ago now. Was it?
I mean, with I
want to say it's
Les Pussy's dropping out.
I want to say it's about 2015. I think was the last time that a Group 3 got into the top 3.
Yeah, some time ago.
Oh, it's the 18.
16.
The 18 had a problem. It's McLaren.
Yeah.
So that sounds about right. Yeah.
McLaren had an issue. They were abandoned up at the top of the straight. The mechanics came back to get all the bits and pieces, and now they're on again.
Yeah, also Dynamo got past the Razzie Cross Team B1 on that last lap as well for 8th overall. So that's 8th and 9th positions, having a little scrap there and changing positions. And they come across the line a bit of a gap this time, so they definitely appear to be pulling away. Also, as for the... Oh, it appears... Yeah, Gashed and Basher are back on track. And, well, they did that just in the nick of time as well, because I think they're now on the same lap as the car behind them in class, Pain in the Grass Racing.
Gash it and bash it. I think it is your...
okay, never mind.
They're definitely not, because they're just behind me in the pit lane.
I read that wrong. They're not on track, and that means that Pain in the Grass Racing are about to overtake them for third in tourist class.
Well, they'll be getting straight back into the action, because Gash and Bashir are about to get back on track again after their engine changed. Oh, what was it, sorry?
We're just on an engine change.
Yep, we thought so. So is that the last engine now?
At the moment, yeah.
So there is one for down the end there for £100 or nearest offer.
We got one for sale as well, slightly damaged.
Okay.
One careful owner, and it wasn't us.
Thanks, mate. Love it. Careful owner, it wasn't us. So several people have got engines for sale in various states of disrepair. But Gash it and Mash it, having had their engine change, are now going to go back into the action. And it started first time. That's always a good sign, isn't it? Oh, sorry, started third time.
Gash and Basher have taken third in the tourist. Pain in the Grass. I think.
Oh my word!
My goodness! I think they've taken third in the tourist class. We'll see at the end of this lap. What the heck was that noise, Jay?
That is the sound of fluff being poured out of the exhaust as they try to get the wheel horse started again.
Goodness!
And I think they've just about. Sorry. They've just about managed it, but oh dear, that.
You were standing a bit close there.
It's not the cleanest start to a mower I've ever seen, but they've got it going and out on the circuit again. So thank goodness for that. But dear, oh dear, that was a bit noisy. Sorry about that, everybody. But that was right next to me, and that got a bit interesting. Let's put it that way. Right, back down the pit lane straight we go then. Trying to see if there are any more interesting tidbits or news stories. The Swede Bashers are just having a nice cup of tea. Average Joes are getting ready for a driver change. Bullseye Racing have started staring at wheels. It was going so well at one stage, and now it's a bit of a frustrating bit. But they're learning about it the hard way, but they're not down. They're not demoralised. They're still going. Snail Speed have had a couple of issues, but they're still going strong. No major difficulties there at number 10. Into the pits has come Horseplay. Number 13 has come into the pits. Meanwhile, from all the way down at the bottom end of the pits, Red Rooster have started to come and have a look at other people's. They're obviously getting a little board stuck at the end of the pit lane and gone, right, we're going to go and have a wander around at everything else. And the sorry sight of the Arcade Case Racing team at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're into the 8th hour at 10 past 3 in the morning, and they're just packing things up. You'd have thought, really, in that situation, just leave it. Just leave it. Leave it to the morning. Go and get some sleep and then come back and put it all away. But, and into the pits again comes the cross-cutters. So cross-cutter in the pit lane. And the Oh Dear, John Deere, having a slight difficulty at the moment. But it looks as though they finished fixing whatever it was, and they're going to send Mr. Shaw back out onto the circuit again. So looks as though the cross-cutter is going to return. Over at Dead Ball Racing, no major concerns, no problems. Everything tickety-boo. Joe Grimer's finished his stint, and they're just chillaxing now. Similar at Northerners Kick Grass, really. No problems, no concerns. Just keep it ticking over, essentially. Noodle Star have had their little splash and dash after the mower broke down. Razzycross Team V1 going well. Het Garden of Belgium, looks like they're about to do a driver change. And over at Team Harley, no problems at all for the Belgians either. But over at Les Lux, well, it's looking like a horror story at the moment. The number 1 mower. I want to try and get in there and see if there's any further movement. I think they've just shut the bonnet of the mower. Are they going to be able to send it back out again? That's the thing. But as you mentioned earlier, Caitlin, with 2 blown engines, that is going to be up. Oh my! Oh, they're just showing me what the reason for the failed engine. There is a part that's actually just sheared through, and that is that is looking really quite. Oh dear! It's actually basically whatever it is that's blown. It's blown a hole through one of the rivets, and yeah, that's pretty terminal on that particular engine. I just want to see if there's any chance at all of getting the. Well, have they repaired it? Because they don't think they've got a 3rd engine. So that's obviously. Well, they're starting to put fuel in it. So,
wait, really?
Clearly, they think they fixed whatever it was that was the problem, and maybe they can get back out there. Well, to be fair, just finishing the race for Leslie's Lux Pussies are going to be pretty special, considering all the things that have befallen them. Their mower's been on fire, in bits, charred remains all over the road. And now they genuinely look as though, oh dear, there's something wrong with Herbert and Sons as they come into the pit. Oh my word! I have never seen a mower crab that badly coming into the...
Oh, I see it. That's big damage to the, I think, to the front left. And that's hit a bale or something,
yeah, I
right?
think so. I have a feeling the Herbert and Sons mower, if they're not going to spend a good half an hour fixing whatever's wrong, they're definitely out of the race. It's one or the other, essentially. Meanwhile, at Les Lux, they're trying to figure out what it is that's caused the initial issue.
Sounds like Herbert's got a story to tell.
Well, over at Les Lux Pussies, they've resorted to kicking it in the hope that that's going to fix it and put it back into position. Oh, it's because the gap for where you put the bolt in has actually shifted, so they had to kick the front of the bonnet back into position in the hope it's going to... But the driver... I thought for a moment the driver's going to put the helmet back on and go racing again, but it's a labour of passion and misery at the moment for the Les Lux team. The driver's taking a helmet off and is putting a new helmet on. Oh my word, they're actually going to send this back out again.
I was going to say, what they might do is wait for a couple, do one outlap just to test that it's going to run. Then wait for a couple of hours and take it out for the final stage.
I was just going to say, I think they'd wait for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then just cross the line, essentially.
Yeah, that would be a sensible thing. Yeah, wait for the last lap, wait for the winner to go over, and then cross the line, and you've completed the race and come in your position.
Well, there's a lot of shrugging of shoulders at Les Lux Pussies. Their opportunity to win was there for the taking, and incredibly, the fate that befell Northerners Kitgrass last year has come back and been thrown at Les Lux Pussies, but in a much, much bigger way, in the sense that they've had a fire, they've had bits shear through the various components of the engine, and now they are literally just trying to whack the thing into submission, essentially. It's one of those keep pushing or die moments for the Les Lux Pussies team.
Big hammer job.
It is a bit. Oh, I think they've reverted. They've gone beyond the big hammer. It's now time for the big boot to kick the thing. And they're still fixing things, so it's not coming out just yet, although the driver is getting ready, so I think they're just doing final checks. I have never seen Simon Funnell look so lackadaisical. Everything is just chill right now at Toro Muerto. It's just ticking over. No major problems. The mower's going round. And that is so laid back. So laid back. The podium is starting to look a little bit like a motel at the moment. There's a lot of fans who are basically taking refuge on the podium and are chilling out and are falling asleep under the stars. What a great place. This genuinely is a little snapshot of paradise, this circuit tonight. It's one of my favourite places in the world, the BLMRA 12 hours at 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just a snapshot of people here because they love racing, they love their motorsport, and they're willing to put themselves through hell and high water just for their passion of the sport. It's truly, well, it is. It's truly awe-inspiring is the best word I can think to describe it.
Oh,
now,
dedication and passion, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to see that you're awake to see it today.
Oh, I'm glad I pushed on. I'll tell you what, Mark, I actually really struggled about an hour ago I hit what I think is referred to as the wall, and I was really starting to tire. But I went round the back and I did the thing that really perks me up and sends the blood round the system again, which is the boxing moves that I learned when I was doing boxing commentary a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a little unknown fact. I now know how to box based on about 6 months of work doing amateur tournaments as a commentator. I've never been in a fight, but at least I know now how to do it.
Yeah, just in case you had to be in a fight.
Just in case I had to be. And it's great because it pumps the blood back through your system, it gets you back going again, and it's not bad.
Well, I suppose what we could do is maybe we can have a one lap stint or something like that on a mower in a race. So you can, if you're doing sort of practicing and training to be a boxer, you can train to be a lawnmower driver. You see.
Now there is a temptation. Where's that Lawn GP mower? Where is it? It's still technically entered.
Yes.
I could do one lap on it. Anyway, I don't think it's here. Oh, Les Lux is coming out. Les Lux pussies are out on the circuit again.
Goodness gracious me.
That is astonishing. Truly astonishing that they've got that fixed.
Now, how do you drive without an engine?
Well, I suppose in the same way you drive without a clutch. Carefully.
Yeah.
It's also how you make Welsh cheese, I should point out.
Got it. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Number 6 is in the pits. That is who's racing. And this is a scheduled stop, by the way. It's a driver change followed by a fuel stop. My goodness, that was quick. That was a good 25 seconds for that stop. So what I want to do is quickly hop into who's racing, because that... oh, hang on, the monitor's off. Has the onboard camera stopped working?
Yeah, we had full electrical failure. Every light, all over the mower, everything stopped working.
Right. So the thing that has to be sacrificed in that sense, that's got to be the onboard camera.
It's all blown up. All the lights blew up. The camera blew up.
Really?
We've had to put all new lights on.
Right. So
we don't have a spare camera.
So that camera is now dead and buried?
Yeah, dead and buried, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We have no idea what happened. Just everything went.
Right. Okay, so that's not going on eBay tomorrow.
No.
It's a nice memento on someone's mantelpiece. Thank you very much, mate.
No worries.
Oh dear. Well, who's racing? I think the only way to describe that is a major electric systems fault. Dead camera.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Dead, whole wiring loom, everything, lights, spikes.
Yep, everything, all in one go.
Had to redo it all.
It's frustrating because that's expensive as well. You know, cameras
really
are expensive on their own.
Yeah, it really
When
is.
you have all of the other wires and electronics and lights and things, oh, I bet that hurts.
Electricity is only a boon if it's working. If it's not working, then it's really not helpful at all. Les Lux pussies are going by, and they are absolutely rapid. 42 miles an hour in the speed trap.
They just set a new flying lap of 32 minutes and 50 seconds.
Excellent. That's a slowest lap record potentially.
Yeah.
But what are they in terms of their?
Now, surely people have done slower so far today.
Oh, that's true. To be fair, if there were a couple of crews that came out and finished the race now, then they'd be competing for that. Well, 5 mowers are not circulating at the present moment. Sorry, 6, because Mo Fear have not come through recently either. They're in the pits with difficulties. So who have we got who are now out of the race? We've got the SLR Mechanics, who pulled out quite a long time ago now. Then, of course, the RK Case Racing team, they pulled in, took the mower to their yard 10 miles down the road and tried to get it fixed again, and no such luck. Crash Test Dummies Reborn, they pulled in about 2 hours ago, and they haven't moved in that time. So that was their race all done and dusted. Also out is the Horseplay, the second, after striking the barrier, striking the bail, sorry, on the run to turn 7 at the end of the pit straight and shearing the stud axle and sending water everywhere. And in good faith, they just didn't want to risk sending a driver out there again. So that mower is done. And the Mow Masters haven't moved for a couple of hours as well, actually. I might go down and see if the Mow Masters are still going or not, because I would guess that pretty much the Mow Masters might be done. As down the pit straight, we've still got some good battles going on. That is Les Lux Pussies going absolutely rapid. You'd never think that thing had a 4 hour, well, very nearly a 4-hour delay. It certainly feels like a 4-hour delay. Down in about 20th position now, I think.
23rd for Les's Lux.
23rd. Going Commando going again. Into the pits is the Herbert squad. Now they obviously have had some major concerns. I want to see if there's movement at Mow Masters, so let's pop in and have a look. The mower is on its side, so let's see where we're up to at the moment. It's definitely a long job for Mow Masters. How are things currently at the moment, gentlemen? Where are we up to in terms of the...
In terms of the time, we have about 7 hours and 25 minutes, and it is 3:25 a.m.
So Mow Masters, well, they're not wanting to speak at the moment, or not, at least not all of them are. What is the state of affairs?
The top hat snapped in half, so we had to scrounge around for a replacement for that, and then fix the starting issue, so we should be back out in about 10 minutes.
Oh, right. That sounds good.
That's the bit on top of the clutch.
We've lost a good 3 hours, I would have thought.
Fair enough. So you're not dead and buried yet, you're still pushing on.
We'll still finish.
Good man. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
So that's not a retirement for Mow Masters. They are still pushing on. They're still determined. They're going to make the flag. Meanwhile, Herbert and Sons race back out. That thing was crabbing like crazy, but they are still going strong.
Yeah, I think you had a puncture. Amazing how puncture can really do affect the whole thing. So
that's very impressive.
So,
that thing looked like it was driving itself at one stage. And we've got a stationary mower up at the top of the hill. Now, who is that that's not moving anywhere? There is a stationary mower. Can you see it?
I can only see headlights from here. I do see the one pointing in the wrong direction, but I can't tell you who it is. Unfortunately, I'm going to need it to move before I do that.
Right. Well, I will run back up the hill and have a look then.
It's going again. It has stopped.
Oh, it's still in the middle. It's still in the middle of the gap.
It's going down the middle of the straight.
Now that is, I think, the 14 in trouble.
It's not.
Oh no, sorry, it's not.
It's the 92.
Oh, that is the Pain in the Grass Racing.
Oh, he's rejoined the track.
Indeed. That's the Pain in the Grass car that was actually didn't quite take third from Gashed and Bashed.
I've just been offered my first bribe. Thank you very much indeed from Pain in the Grass Racing. They've had the problem, and now I've got a strawberry in my hand. Excellent.
Nice.
Nice bit of acid. Nice bit of vitamin. I've got a what? Sorry.
It matches your microphone. You can talk into it.
That's very true. It does match the microphone. Thank you very much, mate. I'll have the one. Thank you very much.
I won't get much of a signal from the strawberries. Stick with the microphone.
Yes. Well, I'm going to enjoy it because I think it might wake me up a bit. Yeah,
any caffeine in the strawberry?
There's not very much. Out onto the circuit goes the Morons Motorsport team, having had their pit stop. But yeah, I'm fascinated by just where is Les Luck Pussies getting that speed from in their mower. I don't understand. They've busted two engines essentially, but they seem to have fixed the second one.
Well, yeah, so I was trying to know what that bit they had in. That
was very not brave. Dear oh dear. They almost sliced it up the inside of the Phoenix mower and caused a monumental collision on the way into that chicane at the bottom of the hill. That got very nasty very quickly there for a moment.
So yeah, I'd love to actually know what that part was that he showed you in terms of what actually really, because if the engine's blown, then he's not going to go out again. They obviously didn't fit another third engine.
Well, it was
it must have been something on the engine, whether it be
or essentially it was kind of like a how do I describe this on radio?
Go.
It was a rectangular shaped metal, a very small, like a sort of a ratchet or something like that. Basically, a sort of a rectangular metal bracket.
Yeah.
With a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the hole clearly had been connected to something, and it had basically sheared away. So I wasn't entirely sure. If you saw it, instantly you would know what it was. But I wouldn't, because I'm thick. So I genuinely couldn't tell you what part it was. But it's certainly been bolted to something, and it's sheared off at the circular component. So it looks pretty messy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I had something kind of similar to that happen to me in a it was an autograss race recently in a Nissan Micra. Yeah, it ended up as a big smoky mess by the side of the road, and when I looked under the bonnet, there was like this big leaky hole in the actual engine block in the bottom of it, and I think it was just melted. I think we'd melted a hole through it somehow.
Outstanding.
Can be done. And,
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, whether or not I would recognise it, we're going to have to get you up to speed. We're going to get you on a course of mowers, I think. But just an interesting side of these. Number 95 Toro Muto came in and went out. They didn't do anything. They just seemed to drive in, have a chat, and drive back out again.
Well, sometimes just a quick conversation is better than hand signals.
Maybe he thought he was taking it over, maybe he said that he was going to do it next time round.
Well,
I think that might be getting ready, actually, so yeah.
Over at Mo Fear, it's all hands to the underside. What is happening?
We've lost drive. Pulley's dropped, I think.
Right, fair enough. So hopefully it's a fairly quick fix.
Well, we hope it's the drive pulley. We're trying to find out.
Okay. All right, thanks, boys.
Pulley fix on a spline. Could be easy, could be hard. But they're going to find the right pulley.
Right,
with the right spline.
The recovery quad is trying to get back into position somewhere. So what is happening with the recovery quad? Are they trying to find someone who's going to reverse up the main straight now? So I'm not sure what he's up to. He's just put it back into position. I just put it back into position by the look of it. Right, into the pits.
He went to the wrong pits.
Into the pits has come the sweet chariot, and unfortunately the number 20 now in dire straits. So that's caused a bit of an issue. McLaren have come back into their garage with a battery, which has been recovered on the recovery truck. So I think McLaren has had another incident where the battery's died, and they've had to change it ad hoc there and then. So that suggests to me that McLaren are going through batteries like I go through biscuits in January. Literally just, one after t'other after t'other. And that's definitely not going to make them go any faster, is it? They're just hemorrhaging time, shedding batteries, and clearly something is not quite tickety-boo in the electrics department. Right, swing no sweet chariot. They're diving underneath the mower to try and figure out what the situation is. And they're filling up with fuel. So there was something underneath it, and then obviously just a need for a general maintenance wear and tear.
Drive belt, pulley.
Yeah, it's I think it's just one of those quick maintenance stops, essentially. Top it up with fuel, change the belt, whatever it needs to be. EGH Racing are going again. You guys are looking pretty chipper now, actually.
We are, yes. We've taken the whole thing to pieces, re-welded the whole lot, because obviously a friend of mine that welded it didn't do a very good job. So we've taken the whole thing apart, the whole clutch assembly, ground a bit of it away and re-welded it. And at the moment, it's going all right.
So his invoice is lost in the post somewhere?
Yes, definitely.
Won't be using him
I
again.
was his best man at his wedding, so I suppose I can't be too bad, can I?
Oh, the politics. The politics. Have a good one.
Thank you.
So there you go. Best man, worst man? Depends on what your opinion is, really, isn't it? 60 plus are in the pits. Don't worry about them. There's no panic with them. They're just having a cup of tea and a brew. They're going to get back on again when they feel like it. I want to be part of the 60 plus race team. They're amazing. So we've had two more come into the pits in the last couple of moments. As I've walked past them, we've now got one of the Group 2 mowers parked in. I think it's one of the Battle of Britain Memorial flights. Trying to figure out which one it is. It's the 65, so that's yellow section in the pits, and they're not rushing around it by the look of it, as out onto the circuit goes Swing Low Sweet Chariot, but there's a lot of idly standing around. Oh, here's the driver. I wonder, hang on a second, I'm just wondering, was he caught short? There doesn't seem to be anything mechanically wrong with the mower, other than it's now struggling to start again, but they got it started. So I wonder, did he need to have a quick moment? I'm going to ask, and I'm going to find out what the situation is. They've managed to get the Group 2 65 started. There's a massive plume of smoke out of it. Thanks for that. What was that particular issue?
It looks spectacular, doesn't it?
It looked amazing. What was the issue with the mower that brought him in the first place?
He needed a piss.
I thought so. Thanks very much. I was a little suspicious because there was no work happening on the mower. And all of a sudden, the driver appeared from round the back. I suppose he decided to do that rather than the obvious. Oh dear. Kimi Räikkönen mode engaged. I love this sport so much. God, I love lawnmower racing. It's the salt of the earth. It really is grassroots. This is for real racers who love their motorsport so much. Come all the way down to the end of the pit lane and it was a wasted journey. Everybody's having a fine time of it down here. No problems, no breakdowns, no real issues at all. So at the moment it's all fine and dandy. Meanwhile, into the pits comes EJH Racing. Smug mode engaged for them as well, actually, because so far so good. But yeah, the Battle of Britain Memorial Fight yellow section. Oh, the irony of it, I've just realised what I said there. Of all the teams that could have had a moment of being caught short, it had to be the yellow section, didn't it? You couldn't make that up. You could not make that up. That kind of stuff has to happen.
Well done, Jake.
I'm sorry. It's genuinely what happened. Anyway.
At least that wasn't vehicle number 2.
No, that's very true. It could have been number 2, but it wasn't.
That costs you a lot more time than a number 1.
Yes.
But, anyway.
So I've been told. Anyway, I'm making my way back up the pits again, just in case there's another bit of breaking news. I love this. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, strolling up and down a pit lane. I could die happy doing this. Right, who's that coming to the pits? That's one of the Group 3s.
Yeah, the plan is not today. You're supposed to get out of the way as they come into the pits.
Just pleasantly, you know. R&M Racing. R&M Racing into the pits. Oh, and very nearly ran me over on the way out of the pit lane. Awesome.
Yes, now that's the vehicle still running in 3rd position despite being a Group 3.
Overall 3rd?
Yeah, overall
wow.
3rd. And actually doing a really, really good job. Currently 3rd in the Group 4 class is Get Set Mo in the 14. And last time around, the gap between the two of them was 1 minute and 25 seconds, meaning now it's probably going to be about, I'd estimate probably about 40 seconds between the two of them. Although we'll see as they cross the line. There goes the RAM, and the 40 will be crossing the line very, very shortly.
Masters are still on their side in the pit lane being worked on. There's still teenagers sprawled all over the podium, half asleep. No, completely asleep, in fact.
Good place to sleep, actually.
It's not bad. Well, nobody's using it at the moment, so you're guaranteed a good place to sleep and perch. So far, so good from our foreign contingent as well. All the teams from Luxembourg, Belgium and Germany are out on circuit, pushing hard. No major difficulties from their point of view. And the further we go... Oh, now what is happening over at Toro Muerto?
I've got to go now.
You're leaving? You're getting on a plane?
I've got a plane to catch, yeah. So I've double stinted and now I'm off.
So where's your plane going?
Mallorca.
Oh, fair enough.
So my wife doesn't actually know I'm racing tonight.
She doesn't?
No, she'll find out when I get home. When she awakes and I'm not there.
Right. The deal is now, if you're going to have to go to Mallorca, you've got to start the sport of lawnmower racing over in Mallorca.
Oh,
that's the deal.
I'll have a go, see what I can do. I don't really have many lawns over there, though, do they? It's more swimming pools and sand.
There's 1 or 2. Maybe start jet ski racing, I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. I just hope that they bring it home now.
Right, cheers, buddy.
See you later, mate.
And not every driver can make it to the finish line. Some of them have got to get on a plane to Mallorca, while keeping from their misses that they're even racing in the first place. Honestly, I'm not. I'm just I'm playing golf.
Yeah, I'm camping at the airport to make sure I get a good seat.
Oh yeah, that's a great line. That's a great line right there. It's into the pits. Host racing team, and I think it's just a few. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it's not. The light is sheared off. The light is sheared off the front of the bonnet. So that is a missing light that has fallen off the front of the bonnet. So hopefully they've got another one. They have. But that's an interesting one to befall the Enduro Whore, as it's known, that particular beast for Jurassic Coast Racing. And into the pits again is the 30 of Crosscutter. So some painful moments for the Crosscutter team. They're still investigating the front of the mower. Now we're trying to see what the situation is. So some investigations going on at the front of the number 30 Crosscutter. All sorts of difficulties over the course of the race so far. I think they're now just doing a diagnostic at the moment, just investigating what it might be at the front of the mower. So trying to ask them what it is probably going to be fairly asinine at the moment. I'll leave them to it for the moment, and then we'll see what can happen as a result. Next door, you can hear what the situation is. Enduro Whore is trying desperately, the Jurassic Coast Racing team, just to put the new light in position. That must have been an interesting moment when that fell off.
No, it's alright. Fine. No problem.
Fair enough then, alright. Knew what the problem was. Get it going again, and they've got to drill a hole in the plate. So they will do that. DIY, straight here in the pits. Massive hole in the plate, and then obviously they just attach the light back into the plate again, and off they go.
What, no gaffer tape?
No gaffer tape needed at all. No.
God.
These are professionals. These are professionals, mate.
Yeah, do it with real holes, real drills.
Oh dear. Well, over at RK Case Racing, I think they've just put the bulk of everything in the van, in the low load of the lorry, and then they're just going to bring the lorry in backwards, pick everything up, dump it in, and off they go. What a shame. They're just finishing off. I think they've all just had enough. I don't think they even want to be here for the finish of the race. I don't really blame them, to be honest. It's been a very painful experience for RK Case Racing, and a very brief one at that. I'm not sure they've even got the gumption to get it across the finish line at 8 AM, which is why they're leaving. So far, lots of teams are chilling out. Mofo are not. They've been in the pits for a while again, actually. So let's have a look and see what's happening over at Mofo. What is our current situation?
Well, it's all good now. With the rear axle moved all the way to the side, so it was rubbing up against the casing there. So the chain kept coming off, and now we just put the cover back on our. Yeah, almost all good now.
Almost all good now. Excellent. Keep it up.
Yeah, it is.
So Mofo. Oh goodness me! Bullseye Racing coming into the pits sideways in full Colin McRae mode. That was very interesting. Pits there, but looking up the pit lane again, the only now hang on, Gash It and Bash It had an issue. They swapped engines and now they're back in again, so it looks as though there's more than just a subtle engine issue for Gash It and Bash It now, as they're trying to get themselves back up to speed again, but it was a brief encounter back onto the circuit for them. Bullseye Racing just having a scheduled pit stop, but obviously needing to make up some time to make it happen, which is why they came into the pits pretty rapidly. But there are many people who are now deep into their sleep. I'm not sure how on earth you're supposed to sleep through all of this noise, but people are managing to, which is quite spectacular actually.
There's a massive number of vehicles coming around the top corner there.
There is, yeah. I've just noticed a cluster of them, and there's several of them pitting. 14 and 26. Oh, and right in front of me, Horseplay pitting as well. So Horseplay coming in. We still have a lot of movement around the Jurassic Coast Racing mower number 3. They still haven't left their pit box yet. So I'm not entirely sure what the situation is and why they are pitting, but certainly they are at the moment. I found the one awning I can stand in front of without risk of being run over. and that is Horseplay the second. They're not moving any further, so they're not going to...
nice and empty.
It is nice and empty at the moment. They've put all the attention now, both crews have put all their attention into Horseplay 1, number 13, so they now can just basically move across. Doesn't change the driving contingency, of course, because the same 3 drivers must remain, but at least now it can be all hands to the mower. So a very interesting challenge for all the competitors now as we go towards the last third of the race. In about 20 minutes time, just under, we're going to be into the final third of the race, the fight to the flag, essentially. As Horseplay get themselves back into the race action, trying to run over my foot, folks. Nicely done. Oh, engine stalls. But back up to speed again, there we go. That's all fine and dandy from Horseplay as they get back into the action once again. But that pesky light is proving to be a bit of a headache for number 3. Oh dear.
Use gaffer.
That's looking pretty... Oh, it is going back out.
It's getting kitted up and it's going back out.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's all right then. So whatever the issue was is all sorted now.
A small petrol leak, but it's sorted now.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. Good. Thanks for letting us know.
No worries.
So that's the number 30. That is Crosscutter. They had a petrol leak. That was
empty the tank, just a small bit leak.
Exactly. So the petrol leak is obviously all fixed. No major difficulties, and they're going to get back out on circuit again very, very quickly. So that's good news.
No wonder they couldn't get their laps right.
That'll be it. That'll be it. Coming out of the turn, that's a very wayward Phoenix getting back up into a straight line again. It is actually quite tricky now for these mowers to come down the hill in a straight line. It's actually quite a physical job as Team Ali goes out onto the circuit again. As to, finally, just the number 3. So we're finally going to get some movement from the Enduro Hawk run by Jurassic Coast Racing. Out onto the circuit they go. Nice stuff.
With a working line.
Absolutely. We've got some nice battles everywhere you go around the circuit, actually. Some drivers now already starting to get into the groove.
Well, they should do after 8 hours.
Well, there is a groove developing now down the main straight. On both sides, actually. And they're both fairly close to the bales on the inner side of the circuit. And Herbie returns. Literally. The number 8 is back out on circuit.
Awesome.
So to be fair, there's been some amazing trials and tribulations in this race from so many teams.
Yeah.
But the sheer stubbornness and determination of these crews just keeps them going and going and going. It's amazing. Oh, we've got yellow flags behind you, Mark. So on the far side of the circuit, there are yellow flags waving. Not entirely sure.
Oh, we've got a mower off in the middle of the circuit by the looks of it.
Ah, that'll be why.
No, obviously there was some issue, but it's pulled off into the middle.
Just trying to see if there's mechanics running from the pit lane here to the scene of the incident, and nobody's left it recently.
No.
They're trying to get it moved now. So this is a recovery job in the making. But, oh, hang on, it's a green-suited gentleman.
Oh, not Durban.
I think it might... Oh, no, sorry, that's a tractor mower. That's a tractor mower. It's not going to be one of the memorial flights. It's that's definitely a tractor mower. So that's going to be a Group 4. I can't quite make out from here which competitor it is, but the recovery crew are going over to assist because the mower in question can't really move in its current state. So, so far so good, but it's obviously a very precarious situation they find themselves in at the moment. 3:47 in the morning here at Five Oaks, with the race of course coming to a conclusion at 8 o'clock in the morning, so we're nearly into the final 4 hours of the BLMRA 12 hours, and it genuinely feels like it only started about 2 hours ago. They're just charging their way through. Dead Bull Racing have got exactly the right idea. They've got everything still going strong.
Yeah, the recovery vehicle is in progress down the backside of the track there. I can see him on the far side over there, as you say, the green suited, but light green, not dark green.
Well, Dead Bull Racing are having a great time. They are up to 10th position again. Their drivers are nowhere to be seen. The support crew are still there, keeping things motivated and on standby in case anything does end up coming a cropper. But their fight back has been absolutely heroic to get back into the top 10 again. and proof that you just need to keep plugging on. And crews in front will have several issues throughout. You never know what's going to happen. And back out onto the circuit to continue that point is the Mofo. 97 gets back out onto the circuit after a delay of about half an hour. They're finally back out on circuit again. Have you seen this traffic jam on the way up the hill behind you? There's about 9 of them. That's going to be
all joined together there.
That's going to be epic.
They're going to come round the top hairpin.
They're going to come towards me.
Very close, very close. So there's got to be 10 mowers there in a
Flat on the throttle. Here they come down the hill, just passing my position now. This is epic.
Even one of them, even the rider's got a helmet on, a light on one of these. I did wonder why the light was so high in the air. It's actually on the rider's helmet.
Awesome, absolutely awesome spectacle. As the drivers continue to plug on forward, and we're going to have an amazing conclusion to this BLMRA 12 hours. For the Northerners Kit Grass, it's basically a case of crossing the T's and dotting the I's for the conclusion of the race.
Yeah, live, die, repeat. It's
it is a bit, isn't it? Just do what you normally do, again, only better than last time.
Yes.
But let's not forget that they did that last year, right up until 11 hours and 22 minutes into the race.
Yep, exactly.
And then
Best Western, who are second at the moment, number 28. Putting in some good laps. Slightly faster than Northerners, actually. But I suspect that Northerners, Olavi Hamilton is just pacing themselves and not pushing themselves. They've got 9 laps now, 9 laps in the lead from Best Western. And yes, R&M Racing, number 41, is 15 laps behind the leader and is currently holding a good, third place, although Trojan Racing is on the same lap as them, and Get Set Mo. So yes, they're going to be, pushed and pushed. They can hold on to their third place.
You do see some amazing things at the BLMRA 12 hours. I've seen some fantastically creative paint schemes, as always. An amazing light system from the guys at Morons Motorsport, the only one that's actually wired up to lights their bale system. Some incredible repair jobs, some amazing decor in the garage, and now I've seen a teenager half asleep falling off a podium. Absolutely brilliant.
The teenagers are the same wherever you go.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what event you're at.
And they will deny it, but I have evidence. I was there. I saw it. I love this event so much. Down the main straight. Still some good battles as out in front it is the Northerners Kit Grass in mower number 12, who are just controlling the pace at the moment, trying not to push it too hard, trying to keep it together. And it's still very, very tight in the battle behind them.
8 minutes to the hour. I don't know if you're going to switch over at 8 o'clock on the stream.
At 4 o'clock, yes, we will do.
So, yeah.
For the last 4 hours, and we will just go straight on to the end. So I'll make my way over so that we can do that and make the changeover.
Cool. And we'll do a wrap up of the hour on the hour just before we cut over. So if you want to make your way over, I'll start the rundown as it is.
Okay, sounds good to me.
7 minutes to go. See you in a minute, Jake.
See you in a minute.
Careful when you're crossing.
Yeah, I need to make sure I look both ways, don't I?
Both.
Sorry.
Yeah, especially for a group of 10 of them.
That's true.
Try and zigzag between the two. All right. So, as you say, coming up to the hour of 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're 8 hours, or 7 hours 53 minutes elapsed into the race of this, the 2019 12-hour lawnmower race, held here in Five Oaks in West Sussex, and we've got in first place, continuing on, as I say, managing their speed and pacing themselves quite well, number 12 Northerners Kit Grass. In second place is number 28 Best Western, another Group 4 who are 10 laps behind. In third place and hanging on to it close by the skin of their teeth actually is number 41 R&M Racing, now Group 3, our first Group 3, which if it maintains this will be on the podium for the first time for many years. In 4th place is number 27 Trojan, another Group 4, who are 16 laps behind the leader. And in 5th place, it's number 14, Get Set Mo. In 6th place is number 95, our first tourist class leader, Toro Muerto, who's been doing very well. And in 7th place is number 5, Dynamo. 8th is number 91, Average Joe's. 9th is number 17, Rosy Cross Team B1. That's our first foreign team in Group 4. And then in 10th place, 23, Dead Bull Racing. And 11th place, 25, Grass Bandits, who were doing very well too, but have dropped down the leaderboard. In 12th place, it's Screw Loose Racing. Screw Loose are currently, let's see, 23, 25, 26 laps behind the leaders. 13th place, number 42, Mowers Attitude, MWA. 14th place, number 11, Team Alley. 15th place, number 9, Bullseye Racing. And in 16th place is number 13, Horseplay. In 17th place, it is Who's Racing, number 6, who had the fire and the issues with the lights. And they've dropped way down now. They've done 225 laps. The actual leader has done 240 now on the hour. 18th place is number 24, Noodle Star Racing. 19th, number 3, Jurassic Coast Racing. 20th is number 1, Les Lux Pussy. So they have dropped down after having 2 engine issues, 1 complete replacement and another fix that they managed to coax their thing to back out onto the track. 21st place, number 31, the Bandit Brothers. 22nd is number 4, Red Rooster Racing. 23rd is number 10, Snail Speed Racing. And 24th is 43, Mofia, Group 3, in the second Group 3. 25th place is number 92, Pain in the Grass Racing. 27th place is number 19, Mowing Nowhere Fast. And in 28th place is our first and leading Group 2 racing team with the Night Riders, number 61. In 29th place, it is number 15, Moron's Motorsport. And in 30th, it is number 2, Going Commando, who are also doing exceptionally well, and they've had all the problems with bits falling off it. 31st place, number 19, the Sweet Bashers, a tourist class. 32nd place, number 97, Mo Fear, another tourist. 33rd, number 18, Mo Claren. Number 34 is number 62, BMF Red Section, Battlebridge Memorial Fun Flight. And they're our second Group 2s. As I said, they are 83 laps on the leaders, and Night Riders are 61 laps, so there's 20-something odd laps, 22 laps difference there between those two in the Group 2 class, so looks like Night Riders have done very well. 35th place, 28 Hectard, and 36th place, number 20, Swing Low Sweet Chariot. In 37th place, number 21, Team Phoenix. And in 38th place, number 30, Crosscutters. 39th is the 65, the other Battle Memorial Fight, Yellow Section. And in 40th, it is number 64, Ratted Racers. Again, another Group 2 in 40th place. Number 41st place is number 8, Herbert and Sons Racing. 42nd, number 7, Mo Masters. 43 is number 66, the 60 plus Group 2s, who are just here for a cup of tea. 44th place is number 63, EJ Racing, another Group 2. And in 45th place, after that we have no one. We've got, that's the last one running. The rest of all now DNF and have retired, and even some of them have packed their garages up. So it's now 7:58, 2 minutes to go. I'll hand over to Jake to take us through the cutover on the streaming. See you on the break.
Thank you very much, Mark. So essentially, if you're still listening along via Downforce Radio, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we did 4 hours ago, which is to pause the feed where we currently are, and we will continue on again via 87.7 FM and the Downforce Radio live stream on Spreaker very, very shortly again, as we will put ourselves back into position. So all you have to do is just wait a couple of minutes and hit reset, essentially, and we'll be straight back into the action for the concluding 4 hours of the BLMRA 12 hours. For myself, Jake Sanson, and beside me on either side, Mark Akeroyd and Caitlin Penny, we're going to take you into the final 4 hours of racing in the BLMRA 12 hours as this epic battle concludes. Will Northerners Kit Grass continue on in their current guise, or is there still one more twist in the tail?
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jack Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.